Takes it to the lead in front of Hunter Johnson.
Yeah, that 45 truck though is charging pretty hard with that outside lane. Perfectly formed up right now, and it looks like he'll be going for the lead down the backstretch.
We take you down onto the track for our opening ceremonies.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise. Please remove your hats.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous flight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free
Good evening, race fans, and welcome to Indianapolis. This is it. The Drive for Suicide Prevention Xfinity Series Championship run ends tonight here at Indianapolis, Rick, and we're getting set for a good one.
Oh, we definitely are, Chris. We're out here. These guys are doing their thing, man. Been watching practice here for like about the last 30 minutes or so, and it's going to be fun, man.
Yeah, I can't wait. And, you know, we've got just about 6 minutes left before the qualifying efforts start to begin. I think it'd be a pretty good time, Rick, if we could, to get the points leader, James Miller, up here, and we'll just chat with him real quick, see what he thinks of his chances of winning the championship here tonight.
All right, Mr. Miller, you got Rick and Chris up here in the booth, bud. How you doing tonight?
Oh, good. How are you guys?
Oh man, we are excited to be here with you guys tonight, man. Unfortunately, you know, it's our last race with you for the season here, you know, so it's kind of sad, but come in here. You're the points leader, brother. How do you feel tonight?
I feel pretty good. Yeah, it's a little sad that this will be the last race. I'm not sure what I'm gonna do next Friday, but I guess we'll find something to do. But yeah, feeling pretty good about this race. I think we got a lot of speed here. I guess we'll just see how long run plays and how we can manage fuel.
Well, that's awesome, bud. You know, I mean, we all know that the race season ends at some point, and it is sad. Like you said, you know, what am I going to do next Friday? But I think you're going to be okay. I mean, you got a good points lead there, man. How does the track feel so far in practice? I've been watching you go around there in that number 25 machine.
Yeah, it started out pretty warm. There wasn't much usage on the track, so it was just running laps to get some rubber down, and I think it's starting to cool down, getting some cloud coverage. Track's definitely getting a lot faster, and car's starting to handle pretty good. So hopefully it'll keep up, and we'll get faster as the race goes on.
Awesome, brother. But yeah, I mean, I'm looking at the weather right now. You know, it's 75 degrees, but that track temperature is creeping up now. And just so you know, right now it's reading at about 108 degrees Fahrenheit. So it's probably going to get a little slick out there, but I think we're in for some good racing tonight, buddy.
Yeah, I hope so. I hope everyone here can put on a good show for the broadcast. I know we got a lot of laps to this race tonight, so hopefully we have some exciting racing going on.
Well, awesome, brother. Well, hey, listen, I wish you luck out there. I look forward to watching you go around this track, hopefully dominate. You got this, man. You can do it. Good luck out there tonight.
All right, that's the driver of the number 25, James Miller, getting ready to try and wrap up a championship run here tonight, Rick. And, man, I think his chances may be pretty good.
You know, Chris, I think you're pretty much right. I mean, he's coming in here with Hunter Johnson in second place, but he's 43 points behind Mr. Miller there. So it's going to be interesting to see. I mean, that track temperature, I'm watching it, buddy. I mean, we just talked to Mr. Miller there, and it was at 108. It's already moved up to 111, so that track's definitely getting slick. You know, right now we have 11 cars taking the field. More are starting to pop in here as things go on. I think it's going to be a real interesting race, though.
Yeah, for sure. All right, we're going to take just a very quick commercial break. I may even stop it halfway through it. Just want to set something up real quick for the rest of the race. Guys, we'll be right back here on MaxSpeedTV.
Assist to the front bumper, and he hits him again now. Rayon Fowler into the outside wall.
He's going to pass nearly 3 cars down that front straightaway, and he's going to get them all done with. What amazing.
Race lead to the inside goes Logan Cloudman is going to touch in. Pit press sideways. What a save.
Look to the outside, and Drunken off. In second place.
I'm going for the switchback. Oh, pinpoint driving.
It's howling down to the inside.
Trying this contact though.
Slide left to the racetrack. Chris Renner drives it back down underneath, and he takes that second spot right back. Joker goes to Garrett Lowe.
Garrett Lowe should take victory with all that contact.
He's going to try and make the move around the outside the Paravolca. That's not going to work, but he's going to try and get the cut back here. Get the run out the Paravolca. That's beautifully done there. Makashuba, there's a little bit of door banging as well.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for your patience. We have everything under control, ready to go. A couple of shout outs here tonight. My boy, where are you? It's your boy. Very, very sorry to hear about that. Yeah. Words can't express it. It's no good time to lose a loved one, especially around the holiday season.
Definitely, our thoughts and prayers from all of us here at MaxSpeedTV are with you, my friend.
And Austin, we are getting ready to start. We got 19 seconds left of practice. Qualifying right around the corner. And Joshua Kane. Man, what a bummer, dude. You made it all the way to the end and couldn't race because you broke yourself. Ah, how frustrating is that? Yeah, that's horrible. But you'll be on the mend, be back out there in a couple weeks, like you said. So we'll look forward to seeing that. Guys, that is it for practice here at Indianapolis. We're getting ready to go qualifying. And we're going to bring up the qualifying grid and watch these guys go around this huge 2.5 mile track. 120 laps tonight is what we're getting set for. Hunter Johnson out on track. We'll catch up with him in the O2. Does take a little while for these cars to kind of get up to speed, but first they got to get off pit road. Really long exit onto the main racing surface here tonight, Rick.
Oh, definitely is. Now that iRacing has implemented the blue cone thing, I mean, that's kind of the bummer. You know, you want to make sure that you get on there at the right time or else your lap doesn't count. So, but, you know, this is a big track. I think it's going to be good, though. Like you said, it's going to take a little while for Hunter and the rest of the guys to get up to speed. But, you know, I think we're going to see some really fast laps tonight. As we were talking earlier in the broadcast, the track's still kind of creeping up a little bit. It's still 75 degrees, partly cloudy skies. That track temperature is sitting at 111 degrees, so the rubber that these guys are putting down is definitely going to help, but I am expecting to see some cars slipping and sliding tonight, Chris.
Yeah, Hunter Johnson didn't like that warm-up lap. Cut it off right there. We'll join Vic Bloom in the 77 car. And I would be remiss if I didn't say hello to Skittles. Good evening, Skittles. How's the weather in California tonight? Vic Bloom out on track, trying to do a bang-up job here qualifying in that 77. Wouldn't mind seeing him just kind of set pace or somebody. I just want to see what our average times are going to start looking like here. And it looks like Hunter Johnson's back on track. Thomas Wagner out on track trying to qualify. Logan Simmons, Jordan McAvoy, and let's see who else out there. Dylan Alt and Kevin Giedrich.
Well, so far, Chris, now 3 cars have taken. Right now, Logan Simmons in that 77 is holding on to the pole with a time of 51.532, followed closely by Jordan McAvoy in the 21 machine with a 51.567. So these times are pretty close. Kevin in the number 6 car, 51.889. Vic Bloom posted a 52.080 so far. So the only 4 cars that have taken a time in a lap so far.
Vic Bloom 4th right now. We're going to climb on board Logan Simmons, who came around first, and he's diving down pit road right now. So we'll look at Jordan McAvee. And that right there is one busy paint job. Man, that thing looks cool. That Ford Mustang, I love it. On board.
Looks like, even though it's got the blue oil oval, you know.
Yeah, oh, hey. If you want a Chevy, we're on board right now with Dylan Alt in the 42 Chevy Camaro. Crosses the start finish
says
line.
it's cold and raining out there in California right now, Chris.
Yeah, look, we have something in common. Dylan Alt laying it down here with a 51.334. Holy cow, 0.2 of a second faster is Dylan Alt.
He just tapped the wall there, Chris, so hopefully he got both laps in there.
Well, I think I don't think he did, Rick. I think this was supposed to be a second lap, but man, oh man. I don't know if he's going to need another one with that kind of speed.
And we got tonight's points leader coming in here, James D. Miller in the 25 machine in second place with a 51.465. Thomas Yo-Yo Wagner. Whoa. I don't know what just happened to the 42. Hit an invisible wall.
Ooh, Miller touches a wall during his lap. These cars looking so good out there since that last update. My goodness. Thomas Wagner out on track. Or is he coming in? Yeah, he's coming in right now. We'll go on board with J.R. Hager in the 5 car. Ooh, Hager into the wall. All right, these cars might be just a little bit tight. Usually in the wall is where they go if they are. On board right now with the 33, Eric Lyda. And Lyda, one of the few, well, I guess there are quite a few actual Toyotas in this race. Looks like 7 different Toyotas in the race tonight. Eric Lyda trying to be the fastest of them all. Coming in tonight, 3rd in points. At 33, getting ready to cross the start-finish line. Long straightaway over the brick road into turn 1. Eric Lyda right now 6 on the scoring chart. Watching the speeds out of Lyda, you see 186, 88, 190, down into the 160s, and then into the wall. Ooh. Eric Lyda into the wall, so this lap will not count. It'll be 6th place for him. Jeffrey Fisher out on track. Grandstand, how you doing tonight, bud? Good to see you out there. Thanks for stopping by, MaxSpeedTV. Fisher right now 9th on the speed board. Now we got to throw names at me that I'm not sure how to pronounce. We're going to say Jay. How are you out there? Thank you very much for stopping by. On board with the 60, Jeffrey Fisher. Right now, being scored 9th on the speed chart, trying to improve that. See a fan still filtering in.
Thank you, Skittles. I hope you have a great night out there tonight. Stay warm. Stay dry. Ooh, the 60 car, Chris. It seems like everybody's really tapping the wall there at some point on this track tonight. It is slick.
Tapping it or trying to knock it over. I'm not sure which one. Matt Gruenberg on track in the bright Jegs 54 Toyota Camry. Man, that thing is bright.
Like you said, Chris, after that last update and the build that iRacing has put out, these cars just look fantastic. I mean, these guys put a lot of time into their paints and whatnot. And now I'm so happy to see that iRacing has actually done something to really showcase these paints.
They have indeed. As we are on board here again, Matt Gruenberg trying to qualify.
Taylor, that's pretty much what we're seeing too. You're absolutely right. The cars are tight. The grip, I mean, these guys have been laying down the rubber, but looking at the track temperature, it's creeped up another 4 degrees, so it's sitting at 115 degrees right now, Fahrenheit. So definitely going to be slick out there tonight.
Gruenberg sends himself for a ride. Hello. Don't do that during the race. That was awesome. All right. Well, here we are just about 10 minutes ago. I was informed earlier by race control that this one's going to start off a little bit different. We'll get into that just a little bit. But this is, again, the championship series here for Drive for Suicide Prevention, the Xfinity Series, brought to you by Sim Graphics, presented by us here at MaxSpeedTV. And, man, I'm looking forward to this. As we've been talking about, James Miller up front in the points, Hunter Johnson, Eric Lyda finish off the top 3, and really only Johnson is close enough really to catch Miller to try and take that championship away. We got some cars out there just kind of idling. I think we have a bunch of them just out there idling. Oh, yeah.
One thing to note too, Chris, is Hunter Johnson. I mean, he is, second in points, like you just said. He's 43 points behind James Miller, but he leads the league in wins, coming in tonight with 5 wins for the season. So, I mean, we've watched him here. We've been doing the broadcast here for quite a while, and definitely can't count him out. It doesn't matter where he starts in the field, so it's going to get real interesting to see what happens.
Yeah, remember too, we've got stage racing going on here. Looks like first stage will end at lap 30, second stage will end at lap 60, and we've got somebody pulling onto the track, Matt Gruenberg in the 54. So we're going to have 2 cautions for sure as we have that stage racing. 120 laps are going to be the total race length, and on a 2.5 mile track, well, that's some distance.
Oh, it definitely is. These guys are going to have their hands full tonight, Chris. I mean, the track is very loose. It's very slick. It's hot. The cars are tight, so it's going to be fun to watch these guys take on Indy. And at the end of it all, we are crowning a championship, brother. Not only will the champ have bragging rights as Gruenberg hits the wall again, Chris, so this lap will not count. Bumps it into pit lane. Going out again. We got about 8 minutes left of qualifying, so these guys can take time. Right now we have 13 cars that are showing up, as was said in chat there. Jason Jacoby in the 88 machine, he's joining. We'll see if he's able to take some time. He's definitely got the time to do it.
Yeah, with 8 minutes left, we still have time for some people to join this one, so not sure yet of the final starting number, but we do know one thing. Only one driver is going to win this race and get the kiss of bricks, and we're going to also crown a champion tonight. That's the part I'm looking forward to the most tonight, Rick, is actually getting that championship crowned and putting it on somebody's head, because, man, that's what racing's all about. At the end of the day, you want to be the best for the longest amount of time. The longest amount of time is a full season, and right now it's Miller's to lose.
You're absolutely right, Chris. I mean, I know he's probably sitting there in his car going, man, I could win this thing and I could lose this thing. So, there's a lot of pressure on his shoulders right now. He knows that Hunter Johnson, he's leading the league in wins. Somebody who you don't want to go up against, but that's what we have. We have Thomas the Yo-Yo Wagner out there. He likes to start in the back. Right now he's sitting in 10th position. So he's got a little work to do, but he's somebody who we can see go from the back to the front, back to the front again. So, you got Jeffrey Fisher out there. He's been up there. Eric Lyda, Hager's been there. Everybody's pretty much been there. So it's going to be really fun to watch these guys go.
A lot of talent going to be on display as these drivers can really get it done, and they're looking to prove it here tonight. And Gruenberg, 4th now on the speed chart in the 54. Able to get a lap in. Stayed off the wall.
It looks like we might have Joshua Kane joining the field also, Chris. He might go as far as he can. Make sure you listen to your body. That's the main thing.
Yeah, no reason to push it. It's sim. Just under 6 minutes now before we go. And I think what we'll do, we're going to just hit a quick commercial, try and chew up some more of this time of qualifying, and we'll be right back.
Assist to the front bumper, and he hits him again now. Rayon Fowler into the outside wall.
He's going to pass nearly 3 cars down that front straightaway, and he's going to get them all done with. What amazing.
Racely to the inside goes Logan Cloudman is going to touch in. Pit press sideways. What a save.
Look to the outside as Trunkgate goes off. De Jong into second place.
Going for the switchback. Oh, pinpoint driving.
It's howling down to the inside.
And you may have heard them fire it up, guys. They decided enough is enough. We're going to grit it out. And here we are. Looking at the 42-year race leader. He's going to start on the pole here tonight. And I did mention that they're going to try and do something a little bit different tonight. And in that vein, the first 2 laps are going to be 3 wide in honor of David Cater, who we lost as part of our community here in iRacing just this past week. And a pretty classy move by these guys. We'll go through the starting grid, and then we're going to let these guys go and do what they want to do.
Yeah, it is great to see them remember one of their own, Chris. I mean, the community, you know, it's a big hole, and what a lot of people don't understand is iRacing is a huge community. And, you know, my thoughts and prayers, all of our thoughts and prayers here from MaxTV, and obviously from these guys with David's family and friends during this terrible time.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, let's do this. On roll 1, taking the pole, Dylan Alt in that 42 with a 51.334. James Miller, your points leader, coming in second place with a 51.465 as these guys get ready to roll. Rick, go ahead.
We got Logan Simmons in the 70, going to be starting 3rd. Chris, Matt Grutenberg in 4th. Jordan McAvoy in the 21 in 5th. Kevin, we're going to kill that. I'm just going to say Kevin G in the number 6 in 6th. Eric Lida in the 33 in 7th. J.R. Hager in the 5 machine is going to be starting 8th, with Vic Bloom starting 9th. Jeffrey Fisher in the 60 machine going to be starting 10th. Thomas Wagner in the 43 is going to be in 11th. Hunter Johnson in 12th. Jason Jacoby in 13th. And Joshua Kane in the 14 machine starting 14th, Chris.
As you see these guys start to form it up, they're going to go 3 wide at the start of this race.
I know dead air is something that we don't like to see in broadcasting, Chris, but I think out of respect, I think we should just take a little bit of a moment of silence here as these guys do these pace laps.
That's what we're going to do, Rick. We'll be back when we go actual green flag racing, and we'll see you on the other side, guys.
There we have it, folks. What just happened, in case some of you just tuned in or whatnot, these guys just did a beautiful tribute to David Cater that we lost, the iRacing community lost there earlier this week. So we had the missing man formation. These guys went around out of respect for him. We're going to be going green here very shortly, but that's what you just witnessed. That's beautiful. If you haven't yet, definitely, search for David's name in YouTube. You could find some beautiful tutorials on how to set up vehicles. I mean, he was just one of those outstanding people in the community that sometimes seems like there's just not a lot of there, but he was always willing to help out anybody. It didn't matter. He didn't care what class you were, what I rating you were. He would just come out. He would help you do whatever he can. So that was a beautiful tribute. Again, David's family, we have you in our thoughts and prayers during this difficult time. And it's just amazing to see, Chris, what what people do in this community. I mean, some people just think that it's a video game or they're just out here having fun, but that's what we have.
Yeah, that is, and you see it across the racing community as a whole, and it's one of those things that I'm very, very happy to see kind of crosses over into the sim side of racing. It's important that we step back and remember that real lives are behind those drawings on your monitor in front of you. So for that, again, I commend these guys. Very classy thing to do, to put off their championship race here tonight to honor a man that was lost in this community.
Now it looks like they're starting to reset the field up, Chris, doing what they have to do to get this race under green.
Yeah, so when we do go back green, it'll be your classic 2x2. Dylan Alt is going to take the green flag in the 42 car, and we're going to get it on. 120 laps of action coming your way. Like I said before, there are going to be 2 known yellow flags here tonight, lap 30 and lap number 60. And those are for the stage racing, Rick.
Yep, definitely. I mean, it's going to be fun. These guys, something that's kind of cool, I don't see too many, well, I know more leagues are doing it now, but these guys picked up the stage racing, and they've done a fabulous job with it, Chris. But tonight, we have a title on the line. It's not just about winning the race, it's about winning a championship.
Yeah, that's what it's about.
James Miller has that. He's pretty much locked down, but Hunter Johnson, he's right there knocking out that door. So they're going to be the 2 guys that we're going to be watching.
I'm going to be trying to watch them all, Rick, because some of these cars, you see one peeling through the infield. Looks like he's got to reset himself. A little bit of confusion. That's the problem. iRacing doesn't give good controls to do this sort of thing, unfortunately. And these guys are figuring it out right now, but they're going to get everything straightened out. And if they don't, I'm sure the race control will throw another yellow. But, man, I'm just ready to get this one going. Now is the time. Now I want to see real speed. A very big 2.5-mile track, 120 laps. Yeah, I'm getting pumped right up now. Pace car takes a hard left-hand turn. Dylan Alt in control of the field, waiting for the drop of the green flag on this very long front stretch. And it is down, and so is the hammer. Dylan Alt takes control in that 42 on the outside. James Miller in the 25. James Miller bumper to bumper with the 42 of Dylan Alt. Dylan had a very fine race last week. Didn't get the finish he was looking for. Maybe this is his week, but James Miller just wants to hang out up towards the front of the race so that he can come home with the championship tonight. And man, oh man, it is starting to happen already. Oh, Simmons, Miller, your top 3. And that switches already. Gruenberg into the top 3. And then back again to Miller. These 2 fighting it out for 3rd at the very early stages of this one. Right behind them, Vic Bloom in the 77. He's watching the action right now, trying to figure out which line he wants to take to try and get around whoever is left behind.
Absolutely right, Chris. So it looked like James Miller might have tagged the ball there on the start of the race there. So he fell back a little bit. But he's definitely not out. I mean, this is a long race. It's a big track. There's a lot of speed here. Obviously, you're going to be drafting and doing other things. He was hung out there on the outside for a little bit, so that really didn't help him too much. But he's in line now and doing what he's doing. Eric Lida, right now I'm watching the 33, Chris. He's got the 60 car. of Jeffrey Fisher, trying to catch up to him, but right behind Fisher, you got the 0-2 of Hunter O. Johnson. He's looking to make a move. He's looking on the inside, Chris, as they're going down this long stretch here, and it looks like the 0-2 is going to be able to make that pass on the 60 machine.
Hunter Johnson advances one position in the 0-2. Eric Lyda just in front of him. Johnson sets sights on Eric Lyda. And these cars are going down this long front stretch again. You saw somebody touching the wall. Sparks were flying, but that's not stopping Hunter Johnson. Hunter Johnson down to the inside again.
Ooh, the 42 got really loose there, Chris. Really loose. Oh, the 0-2's in the wall.
Oh, we got some action going. Yeah, that was all Dylan. He got out of the gas for some reason. And everybody behind him had to check up on that outside line. All better now, though. People are getting back up to speed. No caution. Up front, new race leader, the 54, Matt Gruenberg. Behind him, Logan Simmons in the 70. James Miller hanging out in third. And Vic Bloom right behind him. Jeffrey Fisher in the 60 car. Rounding out your top 5, Rick.
Oh, these guys, I mean, the field's just flip-flopping, Chris. It's amazing to see what... Just a little bit, you get into that wall, you got to back off the gas, you got to tap the brake a little bit, but you lose a lot of momentum, which just allows a lot of guys to pass. Right now, I'm watching the 70 car, Logan Simmons there. He just got into the wall there a little bit. I saw some sparks flying, Chris. Trying to catch back up to the 54, Matt Gruenberg. As you said earlier, the 25, James Miller, he's sitting in third right now. Just kind of hanging back, I think. Maybe let these guys race it out. You know, the track's slippery. These cars are tight, so... You never know what's going to happen. The 77 of Vic Bloom still in 4th place with Jeffrey Fisher in 5th. Dylan Alt, the race pole winner, is sitting back in 6th place right now, but he is actually on a really good run right now, the 60 car, but he had to let off as going into the corner.
Yeah, and as you were talking, the 88, Jason Jacoby, hard into the wall, pancaked the right front of that car. You see the fender damage sticking up just a little bit, and I think that's going to be the norm here tonight. It is a tight track. She is not wanting to play well with any car that's on top. And it's showing, man. The corners are tight and cars are pushing up. Now, if you get just a little bit below that white line, you may find just a little bit of grip down there. You may be able to keep momentum. But it's so tough, Ricky. If you get up into the wall, you got to get off that gas pedal. Once you do that, you lose momentum for the straightaway coming. And these straightaways so long, you can't afford to do that.
No, you definitely can't, Chris. Another thing you want to watch out for are those little rumble strips there on the corner. I mean, obviously, Indy is known for the Formula One racing, and those guys, you know, they know that they're there. The NASCAR guys, you know, if you hit that with these cars, it could definitely throw that car for a spin.
14 cars out on track. 2 off. 2 not able to continue. Jordan McAvoy and Kevin Gidrush.
And we have an interesting turn of events, Chris. I'm here with the 43 of Thomas Wagner and that Allegiant machine. He's actually coming down pit road right now. He does have some damage there on the right-hand side of the car. Fender's a little banged up, but not exactly sure what he is doing.
All right, Wagner coming down pit road. Maybe just trying to get a little repair going on here. Not able to continue the way he was. He was sitting in the 12th place before the pit stop. Maybe this will help him out anyways. 50% fuel, probably was going to have to pit before that lap 30. So maybe he's just running ahead of the game a little bit. As it looks like he's coming back on track after a very quick 9.1 second stop. Maybe just getting fuel. Up front,
number 5. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just going to say up front, Matt Gruenberg setting the pace. He's got a 0.6 of a second gap over Logan Simmons, Rick.
Oh, I was watching the 5 car of J.R. Hag. Oh, there he is. He just blinked there a little bit. He was making a big move on Jeffrey Fisher there right as he blinked there, Chris. But he was able to make the pass clean, and he moves up into 7th position. Jeffrey Fisher sitting there in 8th. Looks like, Matt, how you doing tonight? We have your Hunter Johnson fan. He is sitting back in 10th place right now. He's got some really heavy damage on his car, especially more towards the rear. I'm sure he's just waiting for the next caution, or at least the stage caution to happen, which is going to be happening here on lap 30, Chris, to fix that car up a little bit to get back up towards the front.
Gruenberg still out front. The gap now 0.7 of a second as it is increasing. Logan Simmons trying to figure out a way to try and catch that back bumper. Not so far, though, as he is falling back. Behind him, Dylan Alt, who we saw get into the wall earlier, backed way up, back up to third, and that car, it's moving. Dylan Alt, incredibly fast.
Oh, he definitely is, Chris, but right behind him, the 25, the guy who is running for a championship, James Miller, was putting a little bit of run, but he just backed off a little bit, which I think is smart. I mean, it's early in the race, Chris. You don't want to be burning up your tires. I mean, this track is so warm that it's going to burn them up anyway. And you want to protect them. But, boy, when he comes into the corner, he gets a really good entrance into that corner. And he's able to hold it through the apex and coming off the entrance, but he almost tapped the wall there.
So far, so good for this one, as Thomas Wagner was actually able to come down pit road, get some service. I believe it was probably fuel only. He's still on the lead lap, although I think he's probably getting close to. Let's take a look at... I want to take a look at the blimp, because I have a feeling, yeah, it's less than a full straightaway difference. And Wagner into the wall, you could see the sparks even from the blimp as Wagner touches the wall. Again, heavy damage to that right front. Maybe that fuel strategy will pay off, and maybe not. He keeps hitting the wall like that. He may not be able to finish this one.
You know, these guys are doing a great job, Chris, but one thing I do want to say is I want to give massive props to iRacing. With this build, we have night-day transitions. The sky is more alive, and one thing that I'm noticing, and I'm even noticing it on the stream too, is that when these guys get into, whoa, 42 and the 70 almost got together there. But I'm noticing it getting dark, so the cloud cover is starting to come in. You're starting to see the sun go away. So that's really cool to see.
It is very cool, and so is this. James Miller, Eric Lyda, Jeffrey Fisher, Hunter Johnson, J.R. Hager, all coming down pit road. Definitely cannot make it on a fuel run is what I'm thinking, because we have several drivers on pit road. Your leader's still out there. Going to be on old tires. Everybody else from 7th place back has come down pit road.
Yeah, it's definitely going to throw a wrench into things there. I'm sure we're going to be seeing Matt Grutenberg in that 54 machine, Dylan Alt coming in shortly here, I'm sure, into pit road. They'll stretch it out for as long as they can, but we're doing, actually, Grutenberg's coming down pit road right now.
Grutenberg, hard on the brakes, loses some control, gathers it back up just in time to hit the pit stall. Dylan Alt takes control of the race. He is your race leader in the 42. And oh my goodness, Heart Attack City, Matt Gruenberg almost ended his day early coming down pit road. So things have changed up front. You've got Dylan Alt, Logan Simmons, your top two. Joshua Kane. Josh is out there broken and battered, but he is in 3rd place right now. Good job, Josh. And by broken and battered, Rick, I'm not talking about the car. I'm talking about him.
Yeah, he's driving with a little bit of an injury there, and, you know, it's good to see him. You know, he's out there. I mean, you look at the real NASCAR guys. I mean, look at Dale Earnhardt Sr. when he was alive. You know, he drove Watkins Glen with a broken collarbone. So, you know, he's out there. But like we said, Joshua, just listen to your body, bud. You know, it's a sim race. Have fun. Do what you got to do, but don't overdo it.
A broken ankle will not stop him. He's running in 3rd, but comes down pit road. Only 2 drivers now have not come in for service. Dylan Alt, Logan Simmons, your top 2 on the field. Man, 17 laps done out of the 30. And I say 30 because, again, it's stage racing here. So we're looking to figure out who's going to end up the stage winner. And Dylan Alt still out there. Unbelievably, and Logan Simmons starting to close ground.
Without actually having inside voice in the race control, Chris, it's hard to tell if these drivers are coming down because A, fuel, or B, their tires just let go way too much. Now, obviously, we know with fixed setups like these guys race, with iRacing, as the 42 taps the wall there, he's coming down into the pit finally, Chris. Yeah. He might get a penalty for speeding, though.
Oh, Alt hard into the wall, has to take the toe. Oh, no. Logan Simmons, much better control coming in pit road, and Logan is coming down. So, man, oh, you saw it right on the stream. Dylan Alt came in too hot, and then he ended up getting in the wall, hit the toe button instead of just coming down pit road, and that could put him down at least 2 laps here at Indy.
Yeah, that's kind of unfortunate. I mean, that's the hard thing with this pit road, Chris. I mean, you're coming off those corners, you're coming down, you're doing a good amount of speed, and you really got to get on it. I mean, the pit road speed is only 60 miles per hour. So that's unfortunate right now.
Before the pit stop started happening, Matt Gruenberg in the 54 was your race leader. He is again with James Miller right behind him. Hunter Johnson picking it up in the pits, up to third place in the 02 car. Jason Jacoby in the 88. He was back there a little ways as well. Now sitting in fourth. J.R. Hager sitting in fifth. Vic Bloom in the 77 running sixth. Logan Simmons back out on track running in eighth right now, but I believe he's probably going to hold there. Eric Lyda just in front of him in the 33. Thomas Wagner able to pick up a couple of positions by pitting so early. He is in ninth place right now. He's followed by Jeffrey Fisher and Joshua Kane. And again, Joshua Kane sitting out there with a broken ankle, getting it done. My hat's off to you, bud. Don't get yourself in too much pain.
Now, remember, after tonight, you still have to go back to the RL. You know what I'm saying?
This in from race control. Dylan Alt, not able to continue, has loaded up and started heading home. Dylan Alt, the 42, no longer in this race.
That's unfortunate, Chris, because he had a really strong, fast car out there. I mean, he won the pole tonight, and one mishap, that's all it takes, really. And it is unfortunate, but that's just what happens in racing.
Matt Gruenberg goes over the bricks and starts his next lap into turns 1 and 2. Gruenberg now has led the most laps tonight at 9. Alt, who is no longer in the race, at 8. Simmons 2. So everything has happened between those three drivers tonight. As we're on lap 20.
Yeah, James Miller's still sitting there in second, Chris. I mean, he is about 4 seconds behind the leader right now. And that lead is actually falling even more. 4.083 now. But listen, they got 10 laps left. They know that the caution is going to come out. Just go out there, try to keep that car clean. Save your tires for as much as you can. I mean, they're going to be able to come down and get some tires there on that stage caution. And that field will get tightened back up again.
If I had to guess, I'd say the 54 is taking it very easy on his tires. And that is allowing that gap to close, as you said, Rick, about 4 seconds right now. Back to James Miller. Hunter Johnson about 6 seconds away from the leader at this point. Lap 21 of 120. 9 more laps to go before we see our first official caution of the race for the stage 1. Matt Gruenberg gonna be the one to try and win it. Go back now to, sorry Rick, just going back real quick to the 88 of Jason Jacoby. It looks like he's catching the back bumper of Hunter Johnson. So Jacoby and Johnson trying to battle it out here for third place.
That's exactly what I was just going to say, Chris. I've been watching that 88 car, and he is just creeping right up to the bumper of the 02 of Hunter Johnson.
Obviously, with these long straightaways, draft does happen here. So the 88 getting a little help from the 02, maybe not willing, but it's there, and there he is going to the inside. It's going to be a drag race, and the 88 pulls door to door. Slight advantage now does Jason Jacoby have, and that looks like a pass. That's a pass for third place right there, Rick.
Yeah, it definitely is. Now he has his sights on to James Miller in that 25 machine, which is just there ahead of him, Chris. That gap's starting to close too. Jacoby, he is on the move right now. He is sitting on rails.
Matt Gruenberg up front, Miller second, Jacoby third. You saw the pass, Jacoby over Johnson. That put Johnson back to fourth. Logan Simmons fifth. Vic Bloom running in sixth. J.R. Hager, Eric Lyda, Jeffrey Fisher, Joshua Kane, and Thomas Wagner Those are the 11 cars still out on track, and we are under caution. It's the 5 car. Yeah, J.R. Hager. We're going to go back and take a peek, see what happened to him. On board now with the 5 car, heading into the corner. Heavy damage already on the 5 car, and that is so weird. I can't even describe that. He was turning left to go around the corner, and it looks like the wheel never straightened out on him. We're going to look at that one again. So he's going down the front stretch here, and he's starting to set up for turn 1. Going through turns 1 and 2. And all of a sudden, it just launches into the wall, up on the roof, back on the tires. And man, I got to be honest with you, I can't explain that one other than that 5 car is done. He is on fire. They do have a fast repair. He's going to have to use it.
Yeah, that's kind of strange. I wonder if it's some kind of wheel malfunction or something, Chris, there. Because like you said, he was just kind of going around and doing his thing, and then all of a sudden it just cuts hard left. It was down into the inside wall there.
Yeah, I can't really explain it. It had to be some sort of failure, maybe of the steering wheel. Man, that's a tough one.
I know it's happened to me, especially when you're on the wheel and you're doing your thing. I mean, I have on my wheel, I have a quick release, and there is a screw that holds it, and I never wanted to tighten it too much, Chris. And I've actually, well, I think you were actually there. I've actually pulled my wheel off in the middle of a race before.
Yes, sir. I think just about every sim racer has done that. And speaking of every sim racer on the lead lap right now, coming down pit road. They want fuel, they want tires for the last shootout until the green flag, or to the next caution flag, which will be at lap 30. Keeping an eye on Matt Grunberg, your leader of 54, as he came down pit road, and it looks like he will win the race off on pit road. James Miller in the 25 going to be right behind him, Jason Jacoby. And then we have Logan Simmons taking over 4th from Hunter Johnson. Eric Lyda, Fisher, Kane, and Bloom to finish out your lead lap cars. And it looks like Wagner is going to stay out to get the wave around.
This just in from race control. The number 5 of J.R. Hager, he is done for the season, Chris. He used his fast repair earlier in the race. His car was toast, unfortunately. So he told the guys, thanks for a great season. It was a lot of fun, and I'll see you in Daytona.
Indy is starting to win this race. She's beating up a lot of people. 4 people out of the race so far. Hager, Alt, McAvoy, and Jirich.
Definitely not the way that these drivers wanted to end the season, Chris, but as you know as well as I do, and all the viewers out there watching in MaxSpeedTV land, that's racing.
Yes, yes it is. So, we are at pit road speed, or excuse me, pacing speed. We're not on pit road. We're on pace speed around this 2.5 mile track. We've got at least one more lap of caution. We're going to send these guys with probably 2 laps to go to try and win a stage. Excuse me.
Our stage, yeah.
Yeah.
So we're both all over the place tonight.
And I'll tell you, right now, you look on the outside of that front row, and look who we've got there. The points leader himself, James Miller. Hager, sorry that happened to you, bud. It was a good race. And we'll see you in Daytona. Good luck to you.
The black screen of death is something that I have heard a lot about on the build. I'm glad it's not affecting more drivers, but It does happen. You know, Chris and I like to say that that's a mechanical issue with the car. But that is unfortunate, buddy. Enjoy your off season, and we look forward to seeing you in Daytona.
This time by, we should see the pace car lights go off. We're getting set to go back to the green flag. We're going to have just a few laps until stage 1 is complete. We'll go back under caution and then start this one up again.
Now, I'm trying to figure out, Chris, what are you showing on your scoring? Because I'm showing James Miller at 25 taking over first place. It looks like he's going to be starting on the outside row next to Grutenberg on the inside.
I've got Gruenberg in the lead because he did come out of pit road first. So you might be catching it just because Miller's ahead of him on the pace lap. But okay. Gruenberg is your race leader right now. Caution lights go out 2.5 miles before we go green flag racing again. It's going to be Gruenberg and Miller on the front row. Logan Simmons, Jason Jacoby on the second row. Hunter Johnson and Eric Lyda third row. We've got Jeffrey Fisher, Joshua Kane hanging tough out there. And then we've got Vic Bloom and Thomas Wagner.
Jason Jacoby has been having a great night, Chris. He came into the race, he qualified 13th there. Actually, I don't believe he even took a time. He didn't do any time in practice either. He was a late starter. And here he is in third, so kudos to him. I mean, that just shows you use patience on the track. You work your way up through the field, and good things can happen.
Yeah, more often than not. You know, you just got to be patient. Understand that this is a very, very long race. As we're going down the backstretch right now, getting set to go into turns 3 and 4. The pace car is going to drop off. We're going to go back to the loud button for just 3 laps. Going to go under caution for the stage. And then we're going to go for about 30 laps until stage 2, lap 60. And I do understand caution on a big track like this. It's slow. It's boring. I get it. But you know what it's going to cause? It's going to cause some really great racing as the cars are now bunched back together. The pace car has turned down, and we are gone. Matt Gruenberg wasted no time, got on that gas pedal, and he launched. Jason Jacoby in the 88 fighting it out with James Miller for second. This is for a stage win, lap 28 of 120. Oh, James Miller goes sideways, gathers it up, and then into the wall. Oh, and then gets tagged again by the 77 Vic Bloom. That is your championship leader, and man, he just went for a ride. We're still under green flag. And caution looks like it's coming out. These guys racing it up still. Gruenberg, first one across the brickyard. Jason Jacoby, Logan Simmons, your top 3. James Miller went for a ride, got tagged as he was spinning. And if I had to guess, it looks like race control said, keep going until lap 30. Because these guys haven't slowed down, Rick.
No, they definitely haven't, Chris. They're still going around here. We're on lap 29 of 120. So I think that's exactly what's going to happen. I mean, why would you want to throw another caution there when you're going to be under caution anyway? So that's exactly what's happening. But yeah, right now the rundown, Matt Rutenberg still in first, Jason Jacoby into second, Logan Simmons in the 70 machine third, Hunter Johnson in fourth, Eric Lyda, somebody who we haven't talked much about tonight, moved up into the top 5. Jeffrey Fisher, he's got some fans out there. In that 60 machine, he is sitting in 6th, Vic Bloom in 7th, Thomas Wagner in 8th, Joshua Kane still holding on in 9th. Oh, actually now everything's changing on me.
Yeah, a couple of cars have come down pit road already. Gruenberg, your stage 1 winner. Jason Jacoby, Logan Simmons, Johnson, Lyda, and Kane are the cars that stayed out on track. Miller, Vic Bloom, Fisher, and Wagner came down pit road. And we are under caution for the stage. And to me, that sounds like a pretty good time to go ahead and take a quick little commercial break. We will be right back.
Assist to the front bumper, and he hits him again now. Rayon Fowler into the outside wall.
He's going to pass nearly 3 cars down that front straightaway, and he's going to get them all done with. What amazing.
Lee to the inside goes Logan Cloudman is going to touch in. Pit press sideways. What a save.
Look to the outside as Cronkite goes off. De Jong into second place.
Going for the switchback. Oh, pinpoint driving.
It's howling down to the inside.
Trying this contact though.
Slides left to the racetrack. Chris Venner drives it back down underneath, and he takes that second spot right back. Joker goes to Garrett Lowe.
Garrett Lowe should take victory with all that contact. He's going to try and make the move around the outside the parabolica. That's not going to work, but he's going to try and get the cutback here. Get the run out the parabolica. That's beautifully done there. Michael Schubert, there's a little bit of door banging as well.
All right, welcome back. We are on lap 31 of 120. Under caution for the stage race, and maybe just a little bit of an accident there right before the stage involving your points leader, James Miller. He went around and then got tagged again as he was going around. So James Miller heavily damaged in that 25, choosing not to use that fast repair yet in that 25 machine, Rick.
Now, Chris, and you know, one thing that I've noticed, and I'm sure you have too, as we've been broadcasting this season, James Miller, if he has any damage on his car, as long as that car will drive for him and stay somewhat straight, and it doesn't hurt him in a draft, so it's going to be interesting to see here. I mean, it's a 2.5 mile, so obviously the draft comes into play. It might not be as much as like Daytona or Talladega, but it still comes into play. So as long as he can hold speed and do what he has to do, he's going to hang on to that fast repair, as you know, right up till right around the end of the race. So that's going to be something that we're going to want to keep an eye on, and I'll definitely keep an eye on. But we have a lot of cars out there that are pretty beat up, so it'll be interesting to see.
All right, so up front we got Gruenberg, Jacoby, and Simmons, your top 3. Eric Lyda right behind them in the 33 car, running in 4th. And Eric Lyda is running the David Cater theme on his hood in honor of David Cater. Pace car lights are out. We're going to go back to green flag racing. Long way still to go on this one, as we're on lap 32 of 120. We do have one more scheduled caution on lap 60, Rick, for the stage, and then it's on to the checkered flag from there.
And once that checkered flag, we're going to have a winner here at Indy, Chris, and we're also going to have a season champion. So looking forward to that also. It's kind of a double-header night, so it's really interesting to see how this is going to play out. especially since 1 and 2 in points is sitting back there in 9th and 10th place right now.
Yeah, Miller and Johnson, 9th and 10th. As you catch the tail end there, you see those two cars. Johnson just in front of Miller right now. As the pace car goes down that long backstretch, getting ready to go into turns 3 and 4, then it's a turn onto pit road, and we're going to unleash these Xfinity cars once again. The last time the pace car went down, Matt Grunberg hopped on that gas pedal. We're going to see if he does it again as the pace car has left the racing surface. Oh, no, it has not. Excuse me. Oh, Grunberg just blinked hard, not back out on track yet. Oh, this could be really, really bad. Matt Grunberg is not showing up on track. Oh, boy. Not good. Tell you one guy who doesn't mind it, though. Right now, the 88 car, Jason Jacoby, he is now your race leader. He's followed by Logan Simmons and Joshua Kane. Jason Jacoby up front. Still no sign of Grunberg. So that 54 has left the building, it looks like.
Yep, checking with race control, Chris. He actually disconnected. That is unfortunate. Not when you want to have issues with your service. But like you said, Jason Jacoby in the 88 came in here, started the race in 13th place. Now he's leading it, Chris.
And what that tells me is he's having either internet problem or a power issue, because you don't just disconnect when you're leading a race. Oh my goodness, poor Matt. Matt Grunberg had led 19 laps. We're 3 wide here. Holy cow. Thomas Wagner goes 3 wide and makes it work in that 43 Toyota. And right in front of him, Vic Bloom in the 77. Behind him, Hunter Johnson. As Thomas Wagner had a very big blink there. Oh man, something has to be going on with this server. Cars are starting to blink all over. Thomas Wagner was off track for at least a second and a half there, and that is horrible to try and race around. Good job by the other drivers trying to just hold their line. While that was happening, Hunter Johnson did get around Wagner, so Hunter Johnson up to 6th place in the O2, and he's going for more. Tries to get down below the 77 of Vic Bloom. Hunter Johnson trying to make it to the top 5 right now. Has him by a nose into the corner, full on pass. Hunter Johnson takes 5th.
Now he's putting that aim right on Jeffrey Fisher in that number 60 car, Chris. He's got a little work to do before he gets up there, but what some good moves that Hunter Johnson has made tonight.
Hunter Johnson coming in 2nd in points to James Miller. Right now, Johnson 5th, Miller in 9th. Miller having a hard time with the damage on that car, not having the speed that he had at the beginning of this race. One quick repair, that'll take care of it, so he's definitely not out of it. As long as he's able to stay on the lead lap here tonight, he'll be just fine. Jason Jacoby, though, up front in the 88, has built himself up a pretty nice little lead here, Rick. 0.8 of a second over Logan Simmons.
He has, Chris, and Logan Simmons there just a little while ago had Joshua Kane in that 14 all over his rear bumper. The guys kind of separated a little bit here. Don't want to wear out those tires before the next time they come down pit road to get some 4 new Goodyear tires and some Sunoco racing fuel. But man, there's some good action on track right now.
On board the 33, Eric Lyda. Behind him is Thomas Wagner. Eric Lyda has a little work to do to catch the 77 of Vic Bloom right now. About a half of a second separating those cars. And Wagner starting to catch up to Eric Lyda on the back bumper. It's Thomas Wagner trying for position here. Right now in 8th, trying to take 7th away from Lyda.
I'm back here watching the 25 with the points leader, James Miller, Chris. It doesn't look like he can really get up to speed. I'm seeing 187, 188, 189, and then he's going into the corner, so he's letting off. I think he's probably wishing that he took that fast repair, but right now he's sitting there in 9th just doing what he has to do.
Yeah, that car not handling well. You saw him very close to the wall, actually fishtailed it a little bit, trying to keep it off from the wall. So James Miller has his hands full in that 25 car. You know who doesn't? The 88, Jason Jacoby, up front with a pretty nice lead now, up to 9/10 of a second. Jason Jacoby starting to run away with this one at Indy. Logan Simmons behind him, trying to figure out a way to catch up to him, but not able to do it on that corner as another 10th adds on to that interval. And Jason Jacoby starting to walk away here. Lap 38 of 120 going down the back stretch. That 88 looking pretty good out there, Rick.
It definitely is, Chris. I'm back here with the 33 of Eric Lyda. He was able to get around Vic Bloom. They were racing quite heavily there, and then Vic got stuck out on the outside. And actually, he's being battled right now by Thomas Wagner, who's going to make that pass there to move up a spot. But Eric Lyda, he's moving on his way up. We got Thomas Wagner moving his way up. Guys are looking towards the front where they want to be.
And right now, it looks like Jeffrey Fisher is under attack by Joshua Kane. Look on broken ankle Kane tonight as he is out there with a broken ankle, hanging tough out there. Joshua Kane, he mentioned earlier in chat, he was able to do about 20 minutes of practice. Didn't even want to start tonight at the last minute, decided to hop on in, and he's doing a good job sitting in 5th place right now, just in front of Eric Lyda. And actually right behind Jeffrey Fisher. So that is a battle for 4th place. See a very different line there as Kane was able to stay much lower. We got pit stops happening. Lap 39.
Yeah, right around that time. We're on lap 40 now as they go across the bricks there, Chris. Right now, one person who's happy is James Miller because he has caught up to the 77 of Vic Bloom. This is race 4 position for 6th place. Right now, it doesn't look like Miller is going to try too hard. He's just kind of enjoying the draft right now. But it looks like that 77 is really tight, Chris, as they exit that corner there. He scoops up towards the wall. I'm going to stay here just to see what happens because the 77 has that 25 all over his rear bumper right now.
Yeah, maybe going a little slower is actually helping Miller a little bit around those corners. You see him come out of that corner a lot slower than the 77 of Vic Bloom, and that is just a difference of speed getting in. So potentially that damage to the front is actually helping Miller right now as he is in 6th place with pit stops happening. Joshua Kane coming down pit road, as is Jason Jacoby, your race leader, surrenders it to Jeffrey Fisher. Jeffrey Fisher in the 60, now your race leader.
It's a little wobbly there, Chris. He's going up towards that outside wall, but he was able just to keep it right where he wanted it, and he's just doing a good job. Jeffrey Fisher right now in that 60 machine. Enjoying being up front in the clean air.
Clean air, definitely important because, man, you can set your own pace. And then Eric Lyda, because of the pit stops, now finds himself in 2nd in that 33. And you know what? That's a pretty comfortable spot right there. Eric Lyda running and saying, oh, Thomas Wagner got tight coming out of the corner, goes down into the inside retaining wall, smashes the left front, starts coming back out on track. He's facing the right direction, but man, oh man, is he going to lose a bunch of time on track. That 43 car heavily damaged into the wall hard, able to continue is Thomas Wagner. Man, I don't even know how he's steering that car. He hit so hard, Rick.
Well, you remember a few races ago, Chris, we actually watched Mr. Wagner drive a car that was totally sideways, and he's able to do it. He did the right thing. He got back up on the racing surface. He's able to keep some speed to go through to keep this race under green flag conditions, but I'm sure he's probably hoping to pit soon.
On board the 60 car, your race leader. He was down pit road about 12 laps ago, so he's got a ways to go before he starts running out of fuel. The question is, how much of an advantage are those fresh tires? And we're going to be telling you that in just a second. It looks like Jeffrey Fisher's last lap, 54.942 versus Hunter Johnson, a 51.741. Fresh tires, definitely the way to go. 3-second plus differential between old and new tires.
Question is, though, how long can those tires hold out? You try to race too much, Chris, you know what's going to happen, as well as I do. Those tires are going to go away, and then you're right back in the same boat. But as of right now, it's definitely helping out Mr. Johnson.
Jeffrey Fisher goes by pit entrance, keeps it off the wall, down this long front straightaway, and we are about to go on board for one lap here with your race leader, Jeffrey Fisher, as he cranks it into turn 1. You hear him feathering that throttle, gets back into it, gets set for turn 2. Again, feathering the throttle, starts to get back into it, pushes out towards the wall, starts heading down that long backstretch, and we're going to see about 9,000 RPM by the time he gets there. Ooh, a little slow actually, 8,500 as he goes into turn 3. You see that wheel cranking hard to the left. Car slow to respond. It is tight. Going into 4 now. Setting up for that long front stretch. Jeffrey Fisher supplying it. Oh, Jeff Fisher decides enough is enough. He's coming down pit road, Rick.
Yeah, I think that was a smart move, Chris. They're just watching him doing. I mean, he did a fabulous job. He's doing exactly what you had to do. You know, a lot of people have a hard time, me included, remembering that the throttle is not just a one-way switch. You don't just mash it down. You know, you got to play with it a little bit. And Jeffrey definitely did a great job there. But I think you're right. I think he finally just said, you know what, enough's enough. I need some tires. I need some fuel. I think Eric Lida's saying the same thing. Those guys had a really good run there, though.
So that's going to put Vic Bloom in the 77. Out front, Thomas Wagner running in 2nd. And Hunter Johnson 3rd right now. Jason Jacoby 4th. Logan Simmons 5th. And it looks like after that, things start changing a little bit. So we'll just wait, see what happens after all the pit stops are done and cycled through.
I just watched the pit stop of the number 25, James Miller, the points leader coming into tonight's race, Chris. Got 4 new Goodyear tires, topped off that tank with some Sunoco racing fuel. Did not fix much of the damage, but he is heading back out onto the racing surface now.
So we've got about 14 laps until the next stage caution. We've got 9 drivers still out on track. The last one to retire, Matt Grunberg from the lead, disconnected from the service. And that was a heartbreaker. At the time, he had led the most laps. And in fact, still does own that record at 19, Rick.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Chris. He was dominating the race, and I would like to say that I want to be a fly on the wall over at his place right now, but I've been there. It's not going to be PG, that's for sure.
Yeah, I don't know if you want to be a fly on the wall, because you might get some stuff thrown at you at that point. Nonetheless, I'm expecting Vic Bloom and 2nd place runner right now of Thomas Wagner to start thinking about coming down pit road. Vic Bloom's been out there for 17 laps. You know those tires are spent. You can see it when he's coming into the corner. He has to slow that car way down in order to make the corner, losing a bunch of time out there. His last lap was a 55.493. That's about 4 seconds off the pace of a fresh set of tires, Rick.
Yeah, he's definitely going to have to make a move here to come down pit road shortly. Thomas Wagner, another one, probably just trying to stretch it out as much as he possibly can, but that car is heavily damaged, so, you know, he's slowed down quite a bit too, so I'm sure we're going to see these guys within the next lap or two come down pit road. Normally we would say that these guys want to get on the bonus points for leading a lap, but this is the final race of the season, Chris. We see the leader, 77, come down to do his service. Vic Bloom is now on pit road.
Yeah, Vic Bloom coming down pit road, and he has a 9-second gap back to the second place runner of Thomas Wagner. So we're going to stay with Vic Bloom for just a little bit here, as that gap is already done, and you see Wagner right there. So Thomas Wagner, damage and all, out front, your race leader, and that car is starting to run out of fuel. Thomas Wagner may have run that 43 out of fuel. You see him shaking the car, trying to get some fuel to the pump. Don't know if that's going to get around. This is a long track, and he is out of fuel. He had enough to get through. Let's see what he does in the corner here. Wagner trying desperately to make it back to pit road. And here he comes. Just enough, I think, to do it. He's going to need a very clean pit road entrance, a very clean pit stop. If he misses his pit stop, he'll have to get towed all around this 2.5-mile circuit in order to get back to his pit stall. It's the way iRacing does it, folks.
And it's never fun as a driver when that happens, Chris. As you see him, he is still shaking that car, trying to get every little drop of fuel to get back down into the pump as he crosses the start-finish line there on pit road. I think he's going to make it. And
he made it, but my goodness, did he lose some time. Right sides are up, so he's definitely in his stall, and that is going to make Jason Jacoby in the 88 your race leader once again, and just a second behind him, the 02 car of Hunter Johnson. I hear shark music, Rick.
You are absolutely positively correct, Chris. I think Hunter Johnson is exactly where he wants to be. Needs to save his tires, save some fuel to make it a little further, but I don't know. We got, what, 11 laps before the next stage ends at lap 60? Now 10 laps? This is going to be interesting to see. I mean, he's definitely reeling in Jason Jacoby right now in that 88 machine.
Just 2 laps ago, the time difference between their laps, 1/1000th of a second. Jason Jacoby in the 88 trying to get and stay up ahead of Hunter Johnson. He's also looking to try and possibly lead the most laps. So far, he's got 10. He's trying to catch the magic number right now of 19. Hunter Johnson has lost a little bit of time on this lap so far, Rick. Down gap is to 1:283.
Yeah, I don't think Johnson actually hit the line that he really wanted to, Chris, through 3 and 4 as they go across the bricks there. But the interesting thing here is we have one driver who is racing for the win right now. And I mean, as a race car driver, you always want to race for the win. But we have one racing for the win, and we have one racing for a possible championship. This is going to get real interesting to see what happens.
Yeah, up front, Jason Jacoby is going for the win. Back in 6th place, that is James Miller. And he is the points leader coming into this race. Damage to the right front of that car, definitely affecting how it's driving, but able to keep it straight, and he's just holding on. I think you'll see him probably at the last pit stop, so probably 60 to go. I think you'll see him at that point use his quick repair.
Actually, talking about pit stops, Chris, the 88 and the 02 both coming down pit road right now.
Yeah, that's a little unexpected. Obviously couldn't make it to the next stage, so they decide, come on down for fuel now. And that is going to give the lead to Logan Simmons. Logan has been out there for 12 laps, so he's maybe got 3 more laps to go before he's going to have to come down pit road.
Like you said, one of the worst things that could ever happen to you in iRacing, besides all the other server issues, is running out of fuel as you're going. So I know that's on these guys' minds as they're going through here. It looks like Jacoby is all done. He's going to win the race off pit road, Chris. Hunter Johnson, the 02, he completed his service also. They're both heading back out on track right now.
And a quick note, it looks like Joshua Kane in the 14, who's down now 2 laps, with that broken ankle, may be calling it a night. We'll keep an eye out for that. But Logan Simmons up front in that 70 car is your race leader. He's been out there for 13 laps. Maybe has 2 more in that tank. Behind Simmons, we've got a challenger. Jeffrey Fisher, he is trying to catch him, and doing so, he does have fresher tires, and that's the answer to the question right there. Logan Simmons has 13 laps on those tires. Jeffrey Fisher has 8, and he walked around him like the 70 car was standing still. Jeffrey Fisher, your race leader.
Yeah, I was almost wondering if the 70 car was out of fuel, Chris, the way that he slowed way down, but like you said, new tires against old tires, that's exactly what's going to happen.
Eric Lyda goes around Simmons now to take over second spot. Simmons starting to lose a lot of ground on track, and he is getting danger close to running out of fuel in that 70 car. You can hear him clutching around those corners now.
Yeah, I caught a little wiggle out of him there, Chris, as he was doing what he had to do. Oh.
That 70 car is idling around this track. Very low on fuel. You hear him actually shut it down and turn it back on and stays out on track.
Wow.
Not expected. Logan Simmons trying something. I'm not sure what. Go on board. You saw it there. Folks, when you see $2,000 in a race car, that's because the clutch is in. He is saving all kinds of fuel, but I don't know why. Rick, it's got 5 more laps until the next caution. And maybe this is just about trying to save position, but he's got James Miller that's catching him. He's only 2 seconds behind right now. And because Logan is not able to stay in the gas, James Miller is going to catch him.
I'm wondering if maybe he just kind of didn't realize where he was on the track, Chris. It's kind of... he's going to go around again.
Catch some of the banking here out of Logan Simmons' right side of the car. In every corner, he is clutching that car, saving fuel. Meanwhile, the gap back to James Miller now just a half a second. You see that 70 car, even while he was clutching it, got really tight, almost got into the wall. So those tires are spent. He's almost out of fuel, and he's going around the track again.
Oh, we're under caution, Chris. The number car was that?
That's the 60 car of Jeff Fisher.
Oh, no.
We're going to go back and take a peek. This caution may not be the best thing for Logan Simmons, because now he's going to be forced to stay out there until the pits open up. You see Fisher gets into the wall, got tight. Oh, man, hit that inside retaining wall going into pit road, and that's a sudden stop for that 60 car. Heavy damage to the front end of that one. Oh, Jeffrey Fisher, really, really hard hit, ends up taking a tow. So up front, we have Eric Lyda in the 33, James Miller second, Logan Simmons still out on track somehow, some way. Right now, they're trying to catch the pace car. And this is kind of what I was talking about. Right now, Simmons has got to get around the track. He's got to catch the tail end of the lead pack of cars here, which is Lyda and Miller. Then pit road will open. Until then, he's kind of just stuck out there. He's gone around 18 times since the last pit stop. That thing's got to be just sucking on fumes. All right, question is, will he try another lap? Or will they all come down? Lyda, your race leader. Miller, your points leader. First and second. And they're all coming down pit road.
I don't think anybody's more happy about coming down pit road than the number 70 of Logan Simmons.
And Jeff Fisher is leaving pit road right now with a brand new number 60 car. Had to use that quick repair. So Fisher back out on track. The battle will be off from pit road as we're on lap 59 of 120.
Almost halfway there, Chris. And I mean, it's unfortunate to have to use your fast repair now because you know, those last 60 laps that you just had, that car was beat up. But you still have to do another 60 laps.
Eric Lyda in the 33 car, Rick. He's the first one off pit road. It's lap 59 of 120. I'm going to go ahead and assume he is going to be the stage 2 winner.
I have a feeling you're going to be correct, Chris. One thing to note, another person who uses fast repair, the number 25, James Miller, back out there with a brand new spanking shiny 25 car. The Christmas tree's all lit up, looking good. Ready to do battle for the last 60 laps.
So we've got a few cars out there that have gone ahead and used their reset. Try to make it to the end of this one. I believe this time by is going to be lap 60, and that should make Eric Lyda your stage 2 winner. Coming out of turn 4.
Lyda's car is not looking too bad. He does have some front end damage there, Chris, but I don't know if that's really going to hurt him all too much. Like I said, James Miller, his car is all nice and new. Got the 70 cars looking all brand new, shiny and sharp there. 77 got a little bit of front end left damage and right damage. Jason Jacoby in the 88, his car stayed clean. Hunter Johnson, he's out there in his new ride. Thomas Wagner also used his fast repair, Chris. So these guys are ready to do battle here for the last 60 laps of this race. As you said earlier, Jeffrey Fisher's car, he's new.
So I think we're going to go ahead and give it to him. Eric Lyda going to be your stage 2 winner. Congratulations to Eric on that stage.
And I'm going to keep my fingers crossed for Eric, Chris, because the last guy that won a stage, he's halfway home by now.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Stage winning tonight has not meant a thing.
I'd like to give a quick shout out, Chris, to all those out there watching on MaxSpeedTV. We appreciate you coming out here, hanging out with us and the Drive for Suicide Prevention guys as they do their championship race here at Indy. If you haven't yet, hit that subscribe button, hit the little bell next to that subscribe button. That'll give you a notification of when MaxSpeedTV goes live. We have something going on most every night, multiple different broadcasters going on. We enjoy having you all here. We appreciate you. And we're getting ready to take off the last half of this race, Chris.
Yeah, pace car lights should go off next time across the brick. And yeah, you're right, Rick. We're going to have a little less than half the race to go. This has been a long one. 2.5 mile track here at Indianapolis. 120 laps, your total length. We've done half already. And we're going to take a peek here and check in on what this race has looked like. So far, we've had 4 cautions for 16 laps. We have 60 laps to go. We've had 15 different lead changes here tonight.
And right now, Chris, the man that's leading, Eric Lida, he's probably pretty happy to be there, but he's got some really tough competition there behind him.
Well, he's got some tough competition. He's got some brand new cars. And with the front end of that one, we'll see how he does. But, you know, it may pay off for him to hold on to that quick repair, as we are only about halfway done with this one, Rick.
Yeah, absolutely right, Chris. I mean, the damage on that car, I don't think is so severe that it's really going to hamper him. You know, we got Logan Simmons in the 70 machine. He's right out there. He was saving fuel there, but now that's all thrown out the window. Got Jason Jacoby behind Eric Lida. You got James D. Miller on his outside. You got Hunter Johnson. These guys are really racing for a championship, Chris. You know, all bets are off right now.
And again, just want to thank everybody for coming out and taking a look at the Drive for Suicide Prevention series. It's presented here by MaxSpeedTV, brought to you by Sim Graphics. And we do thank them for coming on board with the Drive for Suicide Prevention. Certainly helps out the league. Pace car lights are off, Rick. We are getting set to go back to green flag conditions. And with about 60 laps to go, we'll make it 59 when they cross the start-finish line for the green flag. This one has been very entertaining so far. And up front, Eric Lida in the 33 gets a jump on the start, and he starts to pull away. The 88, Jason Jacoby, is on the inside. Logan Simmons to the outside. The battle for second is on. It looks like Jacoby will take that, but he's going to have some battling to do. It's done. Logan Simmons tries to cross over, not able to get there. Jason Jacoby closes the door. Logan Simmons behind him, and the 0-2, that's Hunter Johnson, is right behind Logan. And then you got Miller, Vic Bloom, Thomas Wagner, Jeffrey Fisher, all on track, battling it out. That's the one good thing about a caution here at Indy. It groups all the cars back together, starts them fresh, and man, they are taking advantage of those fresh tires out there, Rick.
They really are, Chris, as you can see there.
Oh, we got one going around. Hunter Johnson into the wall. Still under green flag conditions. Oh, man. We caught that one live.
That's kind of unfortunate, Chris, because it looks like the 0-2 Hunter Johnson actually had to use the tow feature.
And we've seen what happens when you hit the tow button. You go down a lap at least. But up front, we got a battle for the lead. Logan Simmons battling it out with Jason Jacoby. Logan Simmons to the inside. Jacoby battles back on the outside. We've seen the inside has the advantage here tonight. And that is certainly the case right now, as Logan Simmons does get around Jacoby. Right behind Jacoby. Miller to the inside now. James Miller with that new 25 machine. That Camaro is rocketing down that long front stretch, and he takes over second place. He may be going for more as he dives down to the inside. James Miller, your race leader now. Went from third to first in one lap, and oh my goodness, they're battling more. Jason Jacoby in the 88 says, I want that lead back. He dives down to the inside. The 70 gets into the wall. Ooh, that 70 going for a ride into the grass. Around multiple times. Still green flag racing. Jacoby out front. James Miller right behind him. Glenn, this is actually the last race of the season, but I'll tell you who to get in contact with. It's Thomas Wagner. You can get in contact with him right on Facebook. And I believe they will be looking for some drivers come next season. Daytona will be the first race. Up front, Jason Jacoby. James Miller running in second. Miller trying to figure out a way to get around Jacoby. Jacoby has a lot of experience up front. Has led 13 laps here tonight. And Miller is just trying to get there. He is the points leader, and it is his championship to lose here tonight. Thomas Wagner has moved himself up to third place. That 43 car coming out of nowhere up to third. Vic Bloom right behind him in the fourth position. That 77, a little bit of nose damage there. Logan Simmons in the 70. He is running in fifth, and you saw what just happened with him. He went for a ride, but able to gather back up, hit back out on the track, and he is heading in the right direction. Ooh, Thomas Wagner into the wall. Sparks flying. That's going to allow Vic Bloom and Logan's, who is that? No, that's Vic Bloom to try and catch him. He's got Jeffrey Fitcher right behind him, so Logan may have a little drafting help right there.
A little bit of unfortunate news there, Chris, is coming out of race control real quick there, bud, before you start going. But Hunter Johnson has called it a night. His car is toast. His fast repair has been used. That's the second place in points coming into this race tonight.
And that should make it. So that man right there is going to be your championship winner here at the Drive for Suicide Prevention Xfinity Series. You still got to finish the race. I mean, it's not over until it's over, but Hunter Johnson was the closest to him, and he is out of the race. And speaking of being out, Jason Jacoby is out front, way out front. The gap 1.6 seconds, just a lap or two ago. These two were fighting over the lead. Now Jacoby is way ahead of Miller, and Miller has nothing to do, and we are under caution. It looks like Logan Simmons, and we're going to go back and take a peek at that one, Rick. But, man, yeah, what a heartbreaker for Hunter Johnson.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. That's not how any driver wants to finish the season, Chris, but it's even more so when you are in the run for a championship at the last race. It's unfortunate. Time for the off-season, you know, gather your wits. You'll be fine.
Ooh, hard hit for Logan Simmons. You saw him touch the outside wall, and he lost a little control of that. He came down to that dreaded wall, inside retainer for the pits, and, man, he just clobbered that thing head on. Logan Simmons sitting on pit road. He may be done for the night. Jason Jacoby is picking up the pace car. Behind him, James Miller. It wouldn't surprise me one bit to see these guys come down pit road. They've been out there for 9 laps. It was 7 laps on the new tires, but 7 laps here at Indy. Give me some more.
Exactly. I think it would be smart to come in for some fresh rubber, Chris, and, you know, just continue on. And I also want to give a big shout out again to Josh Kane. He's out there, and you had to pull the plug, buddy, but listen, it was fun watching you go. You did a fabulous job. I mean, you worked your way up front, man. You got to take care of your body, though, so just get a little bit of rest. We pray that you get better quickly. You got the off season, so it's a good time.
I think what you have to do is you got to get yourself a driving boot for that ankle. Not a hard cast, but a driving boot. That might do it. But give yourself about a week or two, and then see how you feel. Coming down pit road, your race leaders, and the field is down to half. I called it at the beginning of this race. Indianapolis is a tough track. It's a long track. It's a fast track, and tonight we also have the addition of a very tight track, and it has definitely played a role here as Jason Jacoby hit pit stall first. I don't believe he actually took a qualifying run, Rick, so he does have the first pit stall at the end of it all. So his service is complete. He's back out, or heading back out, rather. And does cross the green cone first. So Jason Jacoby will reassume the lead. Vic Bloom in the 77 behind him. And then Thomas Wagner, James Miller losing a couple of positions. He's still on pit road, James Miller. getting some repairs done to that 25. He had a brand new car, not so new anymore, as he is still on pit road, just trying to get it fixed up.
Yeah, and I don't fault him for that at all, Chris. I mean, obviously this track is a long track, like we said, 2.5 miles. So he's got a little bit of time, as actually it looks like he's done now. So you might as well sit there, get those repairs. You know, you're going to be able to... We still have a lot of racing left. I mean, we're on lap 69 of 120. So why not? You know, sit out there, do what you have to do. You have plenty of time to race your way back up through the field, try to reclaim any positions that you lose.
Yeah, absolutely. Take advantage of the time allotted to you, get your car fixed up, and then go on from there. It makes perfect sense to me. And you know the other thing that makes perfect sense to me, Rick? A commercial. We'll be right back. so sorry about that. Here we are talking and nothing's going on. Thank you, Gamester. Appreciate that. We got kind of into the battle and, yeah, may have forgotten to hit a button.
Talking about a battle right now, Chris. The 43, Thomas Wagner, giving up second place there. He got a little bit of tight there when he was racing James Miller in that 25. Jeffrey Fisher's also looking to do what he has to do. Oop, 25 into the wall, just a little bit, Chris. He's going to lose a little bit of momentum. Jeffrey Fisher in that 60 is really catching up to him there. Looking on the inside, he's going to be making that pass as they cross the bricks here.
Yeah, Wagner
Jeffrey
coming
Fisher
down pit road too, Rick. So the 88, Jason Jacoby, way out front now. He's got a 3-second gap back to Jeffrey Fisher. And Jeffrey Fisher under attack from Miller. And right now, actually, Miller takes a second away from Fisher. And he did it on the outside. I think that's the first pass on the outside I've seen all night.
It's been working for a couple of guys, Chris. I've seen it a couple of times, but not very much. Usually it's the inside lane here where you're really going to make your passes. If you're able to get into that corner at the right speed, do what you have to do, you can really get on it when you're on the outside there, and the car will stay there. But right now, the 60 car definitely not happy with that move. He's looking all over the bumper of that 25 machine, Chris. He wants that second place back.
Fisher having a very good night in that 60 car. Has actually led 7 laps here tonight. Right now in third, and he is trying to get back to second as he goes down to the inside of James Miller. Jeffrey Fisher trying for second, has the advantage going into the corner, and he makes that pass stick as he stays way down on the bottom, not allowing for a crossover for Miller. Miller has to back out a little bit, and let's see, who is that? No, that's Eric Lyda. Tried to get to the inside, but does back away since he is a lap down. So nice racing by Eric Lyda, giving room for Miller and Fisher to battle it out here.
And that's a good show of respect, Chris, there. I mean, obviously he wants to race, do what he has to do. He wants to try to get his lap back, but he knows that this guy's running for, you know, a championship. You don't want to be the guy that takes him out, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, definitely not. Feel horrible if he did that. Eric Lyda, though, having a pretty good run. He's a lap down, but that's more due to circumstances that happened earlier in the race than it is the speed, as Eric Lyda gets around 25 car of James Miller, and he moves on, trying to get a lap back the old-fashioned way, but he's got some ground to make up because Jason Jacoby is checking out. He's got a 4.5 second lead over the second place runner of Jeffrey Fisher right now.
Yeah, Jacoby's doing a really good job, Chris, and he's exactly where he wants to be. He's got nice clean air. The track's just doing, you know, is ahead of him. It's empty. He's just out there hitting his marks, doing what he has to do. He can probably back off a little bit, save those tires, save the fuel. He's just having a grand old time out there tonight.
On board with the 88, just watching him go around hitting his marks. You saw how close he was to that outside wall before he dove in for the corner. Running a very nice, clean line is Jason Jacoby here tonight in the 88, and he shuts her down. It's coming down pit road. So Jason Jacoby says, that's enough for the fuel. I'm coming down pit road. And
33, Eric Lyda. Got really squirrely there, Chris.
Oh, yeah, hard into the inside wall, too, was Eric Lyda. Somehow able to keep that car not going, and he's spins it down out of the way of everybody. Caution refusing to come out. It's what he's trying for, and just not playing as we continue on. Green flag running. Jeffrey Fisher out front.
Eric Lyda's tires definitely gone, Chris. He's having a really hard time keeping that car where he wants it to be. That's unfortunate. Racing to try to get his lap back.
So Jeff Fisher up front, Miller right behind him. Jason Jacoby decided enough was enough, came down pit road for tires and fuel. Thomas Wagner also came down for tires and fuel about 4 laps ago. Miller trying to put the pressure on Fisher, trying to get that 25 machine out front. James Miller trying to figure out how to catch the back bumper of Fisher. Once he does that, then he's got to figure out a way to make a pass. And what ended up happening? Fisher hit that accelerator pedal, probably put it through the floor, Rick, as he gained about 0.4 of a second there.
Yeah, he's definitely looking to win, man. He wants to kiss those bricks tonight, and I don't blame him. That would be a great way to end the season. I mean, if you can't come home with that championship trophy, what better way to go out than winning the race?
Absolutely. As we are on board now with the heavily damaged 77, as he touches the wall. That's Vic Bloom running in third. And Vic has kind of had an up and down night. Right now sitting in third place. Lots of damage on that front end. I don't believe it's affecting aerodynamics too badly. But this track has been tight all night long and continues to be so. If you don't hit it just right around those corners, you lose all that momentum trying to get down those long front and back stretches. And that's the difference between a really great lap and an lap.
Yeah, the 43, Chris, while you were going on there, he's having some issues there. He is all over the track there. He got really loose and went out into the infield there. Now he's getting ready to go across the start-finish line once again. Got that car finally straightened out. That's unfortunate for Thomas Wagner and that 43 machine.
Wagner, another car that's got some pretty substantial damage to the front end. He is 1 lap down now. He's the first car a lap down, sitting in 5th place. Jeff Fisher up front, still under the gun. James Miller trying to close that gap. Has it about just about 0.3 of a second. So he's brought it into, he's lowered it by a 1/10 in the last couple of laps. So he's heading in the right direction, as they have both run about 14 laps. So pit stops are going to be coming up pretty soon for these cars.
They definitely are, Chris. I was just watching James Miller in that 25. He got really, really tight. Went up towards the wall. He was able to back off enough to keep it off the wall. But these guys, their tires are screaming to be changed right now.
Nobody around the front 2 cars, and right now the gap is about a second between first and second, Fisher and Miller. As they're going through turns 3 and 4 right now. When do they come down pit road? I'm thinking it's got to be in the next lap or 2. They certainly don't want to run out of fuel, man, because you run out of fuel here, we've seen it. You lose a lot of track time.
And it sounds like James Miller might be clutching it a little bit here. So I think we're definitely getting close to that time, Chris.
James Miller, we are going on board. We're going to take a peek at your cockpit. Gets it up to the red line, backs down. Not clutching it there. Going through 3 and 4. You see how tight that car is. Man, he was sawing on that steering wheel trying to keep it off from the wall. Was able to do so, but that gets tiring over a few laps. Just sawing on that wheel. You see it left and right, left and right. We're going into 1 and 2 now with James Miller, the 25 machine, currently sitting in 2nd place. He's looking at the back of Jeffrey Fisher's number 60 car, your leader. Both cars have been out on track for about 16 laps. They've got to be getting close on the fuel, but not coming down pit road the last time. Maybe this is going to be the one as we go down that long backstretch, setting up for turns 3 and 4.
They're going to go around for another lap, Chris. Grandstand, you're absolutely right, buddy. He is out there, man. Fisher, he wants the win, and you can see it. Been doing a fabulous job out there. Jeffrey Fisher, he qualified 10th place, now leading the race.
The gap between Fisher and Miller about a half a second right now. And it's been pretty consistent for the last few laps. You know, they gain a little, they lose a little. Right there, Miller gets into that corner a little bit better than Fisher and does close down the gap by about a tenth and then loses it coming out. So, oh, we've got the top two cars, Fisher and Miller, deciding that's enough. They're coming down pit road. Lap 88 of 120. And that should cycle back to Jason Jacoby as your race leader. But he's got some time he's got to make up, Rick. He was 15 seconds behind.
That's pretty close to being a full pit stop there, Chris. But there he goes. He's over the start-finish line there. He makes the pass there. The guy's there.
Touches on the wall just a little bit, does Jacoby, but not enough to slow him down. As he gets through turns 1 and now going through turn 2, setting up for that all-important backstretch. Jason Jacoby out there all by himself, your race leader. He has led the most laps of anybody here tonight. When he crosses the start-finish line, it'll be 29. Jeffrey Fisher going to be right behind him.
Jeffrey Fisher doing a good job. He had a really good pit stop there, Chris. He is working on second place, like you said, but right there behind him, the 25, James Miller, as they go around the number 77 machine. Way down on the inside. There you go, Jeffrey Fisher is right there, trying to catch up to that 88 machine, as we saw all night tonight, man. That 88 machine is fast. Jason Jacoby doing a really good job.
So Fisher and Miller trying to take advantage of those new tires. Jacoby does have about 10 laps on his set of tires, and the time on track definitely showing, as Jacoby running a 54s and Fisher running about a 51 and a half or so that last lap. So 3 seconds a lap. He's got some ground to make up, no doubt about that, as the gap is 24 seconds, but at 3 seconds a lap, you're talking 7-8 laps, and he's going to be on the back bumper. So this one's not decided no matter what the distance at this point. There's definitely different pit strategies going on, and tires are very, very important tonight.
Oh, it definitely is, Chris, and I think that is going to be the main deciding factor, is going to be the pit strategies going on tonight. But, man, just watching Jacoby go around this track, man, he's got that 88 right up against the wall, man. I don't even think we could put a piece of paper between him and the wall at certain points there as he goes into the corners. He's got a really good line. He's comfortable out there, obviously.
Yeah, Jacoby looking good out there. And the thing that you can do when you have a lead like this, you can start saving some fuel.
And I think a few times there, I've heard him clutching just a little bit, Chris. He's not doing it a lot, but I think, you know, he's probably just watching his black box, trying to figure out what he needs to do. Probably trying to calculate how much fuel he's actually saving.
Well, we know there's going to be one more pit stop. I'm doing the math in my head. If he's not saving fuel right now. Jason Jacoby's been out there for 11 laps.
On those 11 laps, man, his tires are definitely wearing. Jeffrey Fisher right now in second, about 20 seconds behind Jacoby.
I'm just trying to do the math in my head right now for Jason. And it looks like at lap 93, he's got 12 laps. You figure he's got maybe another 5 laps, maybe 6 if he's been saving. That'll put him to lap 99. Jason Jacoby will have to pit again. Maybe 2 times, Rick. That could be a problem, as the cars behind him, I believe, can make it on just one more stop.
The question that's going to be the main question that's going to be asked, though, is are these guys going to wait until Jacoby goes into the pits? Are they going to stay out there to get the track position, get a little bit of distance in between him? I mean, a pit stop goes for what, 15, 16 seconds to get 4 new tires and fuel? One of those things. I don't know. I'd have a hard time with a driver. I think once I hear that leader's on pit road, I might be looking to pit. But then again, maybe not.
This just in from race control, the number 25 James Miller, with the run that he's had tonight, has secured the championship. Again, the 25 car, James Miller, going to be the Driver Suicide Prevention Xfinity Series champion for the season. Congratulations, James Miller.
That's awesome news, Chris. I mean, he's had one heck of a season, man, and that's the way that you want to end it. But it's not done yet, because like we said, you know, just because he's already the champ, that doesn't mean that he doesn't want to win the race, too. But I'm sure that's going to get relayed to him over the radios. And now he can just concentrate on driving. He doesn't have to really worry about anything else. And he can just do what he has to do.
Yeah, that's going to be a huge, huge load off from his shoulders. And now he can just get down to driving. And I'm doing the math over and over in my head. And unless Jacoby can somehow... He's not going to be able to save enough fuel. He would have to do 9 more laps in order to make it from what we've seen here tonight. We're on lap 95 of 120. He's been on track for 15 laps already, and he is clutching that car hard right now, trying to save all the fuel he can, but I don't know that he's going to be able to do it, Rick.
Well, I don't know, Chris. I mean, I'm looking back here on the 60 car right now. That lead that I just said was about 20 seconds has fallen down to 16.450, and he's gaining every single lap. So, I don't think Jacoby's going to be able to stay out that long. I really don't.
Jacoby on the clutch for a very long time there, giving up a lot of speed. And unfortunately, he has a white background. I'm not able to see what his speeds are there, but definitely not what they're supposed to be, as he's going down that long front stretch, going across the bricks, and as soon as he goes across the bricks, he's on the clutch, 500 RPMs, trying to save fuel. He's about halfway through turn 1 now, gets on the gas rather, and then back on the clutch.
What I saw, Chris, as he's going across those bricks was a speed of 187. Right now he is at about 188, and then he clutches right back in again.
So Jason Jacoby trying to figure out a way to stretch fuel further than anybody's been able to do tonight. He's been on track now for 18 laps. How much further will this tank of fuel take Jacoby? And right now, yeah, that gap still closing back to Jeffrey Fisher, back down to 14 seconds, and it's closing every time I look.
It's going to be interesting to see how far Jacoby actually pushes this, Chris. I mean, and you know that his spotter and crew chief are in his ear letting him know the times of Jeffrey Fisher and James Miller back there, how they're catching up to him. But he continues on the save, doing what he has to do. He's pushing it right to the limit.
Every lap the same for Jason Jacoby. Hits those bricks, pushes in the clutch. About halfway through turn 1, gets back on the gas, and then clutches again. Fires the car back up on the exit of turn 2 to get it down the backstretch. Jacoby doing every single thing he can think of to try and make this on one more stop. What he really doesn't want to do, Rick, he doesn't want to run out of fuel. If he runs out of fuel, his race is done.
You're absolutely right, Chris, and I think that's exactly what he just thought there as he comes down pit road.
Not able to do it. Jason Jacoby coming down pit road, lap 99 of 120. He was able to do 18 laps, almost 19. If that's the case, he's going to be one lap shy of taking this one to the end on this pit stop, unless he can save more fuel coming out of pit road. But Jeffrey Fisher, right now in the 60 car, is going to be your race leader. He's going to be followed by James Miller, and they're going to have to pit as well. Now, the real question, Rick, is when they come down pit road, do you take tires? My answer to that, no. Don't do it. You don't need them. At the end of the race, the last race of the season, take a chance. Take fuel only. Take enough to get to the end, and that's it. Get out of pit road. Try and win this one.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those, you know, you're danged if you do and danged if you don't, Chris. I mean, if they're comfortable with the car being that loose, which I know for me, I like to have a loose race car instead of a tight race car. If you're able to hold that car where you want it and you think you can go the distance, I mean, we got 20 laps left. You're right, don't take it. If you don't feel comfortable, take 2. If you feel really crafty, take 4, and then you don't have to worry about it. But I don't know, and it sounds like Jason Jacoby already clutching to save that fuel, Chris, now that he's back out on the racing surface.
Yeah, he's got to figure out a way to save 2 additional laps of fuel over what he did the last run. I just don't know if it's possible. I just don't know if it is or not. It's such a big track, 2.5 miles long. Trying to save that much fuel under green flag conditions, that's a tough order. And Jason Jacoby's going to see if he can do it.
I'm just going to say, if he does do it, I want to hire his crew chief for next season.
Well, here's the other thing. So I'm thinking as a crew chief right now, Jeffrey Fisher has a 30-second lead over Jason Jacoby.
I would almost think about coming down for another splash and go.
Well, here's the thing. So you're right. Pit stops are usually in the 14 seconds, but you got to take into account that very long pit road. You're coming down pit road at pit road speed while you got somebody out there going as fast as he can. Man, there's so many ways this one could end. This is where it gets interesting. So many strategies at play. Fisher and Miller on one strategy, Jason Jacoby on another. And we're going to have to sit back for 19 more laps to see which one is going to take it. Oh, man. I'm getting an ulcer here trying to think about all this.
Well, I'm getting towards the end of my seat here, Chris. I mean, I'm watching the speeds right now of Jeffrey Fisher. He's hitting about 100 and... Well, you hit about 192 there. pit road speed here is only 60 miles per hour. So you're absolutely right. You might have a lead, or you might not be far from the lead, but that's gonna hurt. It's gonna be interesting to see what happens. I know Jason Jacoby, he's thinking about it already. I'm sure his mind is working as fast as it possibly can to figure out what he has to do. Every time he clutches in, I'm sure he's watching his box to make sure, you know, that he is saving fuel, how much he's saving. He's trying to calculate how many fuel or how many gallons you need to do a lap. I don't know if I'd want to be in that position because that's a lot of things to worry about as you're going around this track.
Based on lap time, Jacoby is trying to save fuel. Normally on new tires, he was in the 51s. He's only on 3-lap old tires. He's running about mid 52s. So definitely in the fuel conservation mode. And if you can do that for the whole run, maybe at that point, maybe you can get the 2 laps you need to finish this one off. But it's going to be tight. It's going to be very, very tight. And the thing we got to think about now is Jeffrey Fisher, James Miller absolutely have to come down at least one more time to try and get to the end of this one. Oh, man. Throwing my hands up because I'm not sure what's going to happen.
Yeah, I think we're going to have to just watch it and find out what happens, Chris, because you also got to think, Jason Jacoby, he's out there, he's saving fuel. His lap times are a little bit slow compared to what he's normally running. So he's not only saving fuel, but he's also saving his tires. So that could come into play. I think you're right. I think Fisher and Miller have to come down at least one more time for a little bit of fuel. How much? I don't really know. A gallon or 2, possibly. Tires, I would definitely throw this out. Now that we've gone through here, I would throw that right out the window. I would splash and go and do what you have to do. But it's going to get real interesting.
Well, that's the thing. A splash and go, Rick, I don't think is going to do it because a normal fuel run is about 16 to 17 laps. We've got 16 laps to go. You're going to need almost a full tank of fuel. At that point, you might as well at least take right side tires. That's not going to slow down your pit stop at all. But these guys have got to start thinking about coming down. And, you know, I probably would have come down, and Jeffrey Fisher's coming down right now. I was thinking I would come down as soon as I know a full tank would get me to the end. For Fisher and Miller both coming down pit road, and Jason Jacoby smelling blood. He's got to get up front. Now is not the time to save fuel. He's got to get up front. If he can do that, then he can go back to fuel conservation, and then he can try and win this race. But Jason Jacoby may have just pulled the biggest move of the race out, as he is now the race leader. Jacoby back up front.
Well, I'm definitely tipping my hat to Jason Jacoby, man, because he's out there doing it. I think if it was me, Chris, with the pressure, I would have probably came in anyway. So he's out there. He's committed now, you know. He's got to do what he has to do. If he has to go in for whatever reason, that's going to cost him the win.
Yeah, absolutely. And Fisher and Miller have both completed their stops. All right, time to do some quick math here. Jason Jacoby's been out there for 6 laps. We've got 15 to go. That's 21 laps. We haven't seen anybody close to that. The last time he was out there, he was able to squeeze 18 laps out before he had to come down pit road. But Rick, remember how he was doing it. He was on the clutch way before the corner. He was on the clutch as soon as he passed over the bricks like he just did. The start-finish line is a known place to hit the clutch. And I don't hear that happening right now. Jacoby is out there. I think he may have figured out he may not be able to make this one. He's got to go. He's got to build up that lead as much as he can. If he knows he can't make it, he needs all the lead he can get. Then he can come down pit road. He's the one that could take a splash of fuel, maybe a half a gallon, maybe a gallon. It's not going to take a lot, but he's going to need some. That's my thought. We're going to see if I'm right. Right now, 14 laps to go for Jason Jacoby up front. Fisher and Miller both have completed and are back out on track. The gap back to Fisher, 19 seconds. So, not that bad. Coming down pit road. Yeah, but if Jacoby has to come down pit road even for a splash, that's going to give Fisher enough time to catch him. So, it's really a matter of, can Jacoby save enough fuel to make it through the end of this one?
I think we're about to find out, Chris.
Yeah, with 13 laps to go, it's around the corner. And we're going to go on board with the 88. We're going to see just how much fuel he's trying to save. Oh, he's trying to save a lot. He clutched that one very, very early. He's getting back on the throttle nice and easy. And then clutches. Setting up that long front stretch. He's back in the gas. We're going to see where he clutches on this front stretch. So Jason Jacoby doing his thing, saving all the fuel he can, putting the clutch down when they cross over the bricks. And Fisher's doing everything he can to try and catch him right now because 15 seconds is the interval. Jeffrey Fisher, very good run for him tonight. He's led 23 laps. Jacoby's led 41. They have definitely led the most laps between the two of them. And that 88 very quiet going around the corner as that clutch is pressed in. The engine drops down to about 500 RPM. You're saving all the fuel you can right there. And he needs to. 12 laps to go. Getting ready to cross over that brick one more time. 11 laps to go. And as soon as he crosses over again, that clutch is pressed in. He's doing everything he needs to do to try and win this one. No doubt about that. The question is it enough? He's been out there for 10 laps on this tank of fuel, on this set of tires. The gap down to second place, Jeffrey Fisher, down to 13 seconds now. So Fisher is definitely catching him. James Miller about 18 seconds behind the leader, so he lost some time. The other thing to think about is if Fisher is able to catch up to the back of Jacoby, he's going to have to get back on the gas. That'll make him use the fuel a little bit more, and that could spell the end. But we are going to 10 to go right now. 10 to go for Jason Jacoby. Does he have enough fuel to make it? We're going to find out here. We got 10 laps. That's 25 miles. That's still a pretty long distance. The gap back to Fisher, 11.79 seconds. And it's closing. Every single time Jacoby has to get on the clutch, Fisher closes in. Jacoby not being shy about getting on that clutch early either. You see just how far away from the corner he was when he pressed it down, and he doesn't have a choice. The only thing he can do now is try and go for the win. If he comes down pit road, the gap is small enough where he will definitely lose. And Rick, it's just a question at this point.
It is. I mean, we're definitely going to find out what happens here, Chris. I mean, we're on lap 112 of 120. It's going to get interesting, and it's kind of cool to see what's going on. Kobe still saving that fuel, every drop that he can possibly save.
A little more than a second. That's the amount of time Jeffrey Fisher has made up to the back of Jason Jacoby, and that gap is closing quickly. Jason Jacoby is doing what he needs to do to try and win, but it may end up costing him the race anyways. He's been out there for 12 laps. Jeffrey Fisher and James Miller 6 laps apiece. They can definitely make it on fuel. Can Jason Jacoby? We've got 8 laps left when he crosses the start-finish line. .1 seconds is the gap back to Fisher right now. .6. Fisher can actually see Jacoby just barely when they're going down the backstretch. He was able to see the back end of Jason Jacoby's car. The gap now 8.3 seconds, and Fisher doing everything he can to try and win the very last race of the season. But Jason Jacoby holding on to hope, holding on to what he can in the fuel tank. And he shuts it down again. No choice. He has to do it. Gap now 7.5 seconds. Fisher closing it up quick.
That's one thing that's definitely on Jacoby's mind, Chris, because just because, you know, we know the fact that Fisher can see Jacoby at one point, but you also got to remember, Jacoby can also see Fisher, and he's like, boy, that little black speck, it's getting closer and closer and closer every lap.
That's it. It works both ways here. For Jeffrey Fisher, when he sees the 88 in front of him, it makes him want to drive harder. For Jason Jacoby, when he sees the car behind him, you know he's got to figure out, okay, he's got to be thinking, I need to press the clutch, but maybe I go a little further. Maybe I go a little further. Maybe I go a little further. And that time when he crossed over the start-finish line, he had already had the clutch pressed in. So even longer this time off the gas.
Jason Jacoby right now, Chris, he has 2 wins this season here with the Drive for Suicide Prevention, sponsored by Sim Graphics. Jeffrey Fisher, he's looking for not only to win the last race of the season, a nice long race, but he's also looking to win his first of the season. So that would be, for me, as a driver, you know, okay, I didn't make the championship, but hey, I got to win. And as you get those wins, as you know, I mean, with your league racing, you have, you know, multiple wins under your belt. When you get those wins, it makes you excited. You bring that on to the next season. You got that monkey off your back. You know what it feels like. You know you can do it. So, you know, Fisher, he's not giving up, man. He's seeing that car getting closer and closer. It's taking a little while. They got 5 laps to go. And you do it.
As Fisher's laps or tires get older, you see the time drop. Not happening quite as fast as it was, but the time is down to 6 seconds. So it's happening. And he's got 5 laps. So he's got to figure out a way to put a little bit more pressure on Jacoby. Make him use that fuel. If he can do that, he may run Jacoby out of fuel. Or, hey, maybe it's a foregone conclusion, because Jacoby is trying everything he can to save enough fuel. But, man, you're talking about saving almost 3 laps worth of fuel to try and get to the end of this one. 5 laps to go. Checkered flag is coming around the corner, and Jason Jacoby doing everything he can to try and hold on to the lead. He's led 49 laps tonight. Jeffrey Fisher behind him in second, trying to close that gap, has led 23.
He's definitely doing all he can, Chris, but the main question that we're going to find out here in a couple more laps, just a few more miles, is it enough?
He is on lap 17 with this set of tires. More importantly, he's lap 17 with this tank of gas. Has he done enough to save enough fuel to make it to the end? We're going to make that decision here in about 3 laps as he's getting ready to go down that long front stretch. The 88 car of Jason Jacoby definitely doing everything he can, everything possible to save as much fuel as he can. And if he looks in that mirror now, that car behind him starting to get a little bit bigger as that gap down to 5 seconds. And at one point, just about 4.5. He loses about 1/4 of a second on every corner.
Now, one cool thing, Chris, we've been broadcasting these guys for a little while. We've seen some amazing things. And this is just another thing that amazes me that we're going to see here at the end of the race. I mean, we've seen guys start from the back, work their way up, head to the middle, ride around there for a while, fall back again, get up towards the front. We've seen guys drive cars that go sideways. We've seen, you know, different fuel strategies happen. We've seen a lot of different things that have happened here with these guys. And now we're watching this. This is like a nail biter, man. I mean, does he have enough to win? It's going to be awesome if he does. It's going to be amazing if he does. You got Fisher. He's looking for his first win of the season on the last race. We have a champion already. This is just, it's an awesome Friday night, brother. I'm glad I'm here with you.
Oh man, I couldn't agree more. I'm happy to have you on board here at MaxSpeedTV. I want to thank everybody who's watching. Really appreciate it coming out, checking this one out. We are on a fuel strategy for the win. Jason Jacoby been out on track for 19 laps, and that is as long as we've seen fuel last in the tank of this car, the Xfinity car. Very gas hungry here tonight. At most time, we've seen 17 laps before they come down. I've seen one car run out of fuel at 17 laps tonight. So to do 19 is amazing. We got to do 2 more.
The interesting thing, Chris, now, like you were talking earlier, it's getting longer and longer. They're just clutching in. All the way through turns 3, he was on the clutch. He didn't touch the gas at all until he got to the middle. He gave it a little bit of gas, clutched again, and boom.
Jeffrey Fisher running that car just as hard as he can with 1 lap to go. Got into the wall coming out of 4. The gap 3.3 seconds. Can Jeffrey Fisher catch the back bumper? Can Jason Jacoby make it around the circuit one more time? He's getting ready to go down that very long backstretch. And oh my goodness. It's starting to look like he's going to make it, Rick, and this is unbelievable. 20 laps so far. It's going to be 21 if he can get past the start-finish line. I don't know if he's going to make it back to burn out over those bricks or not, but man, oh man, Jason Jacoby doing everything possible. The gap 3.2 seconds and not really changing all that much, although now down to 3. But it may be too little too late for Jeffrey Fisher. Jason Jacoby is heading down that last stretch, getting ready to go over those bricks for the win. Jason Jacoby stretches the fuel. Wow. My goodness. Wow.
I don't know. If I was Jason Jacoby, Chris, I would probably be sitting there. I would be hitting it as hard as I possibly could just to see how much fuel I really had. Could I make another lap?
Unbelievable finish for Jason Jacoby. Stretching the fuel mileage just as unbelievable. Great finish for Jeffrey Fisher, bringing that 60 car home in 2nd place tonight. And 3rd is your points champion, James Miller. Jacoby coming down the long entrance for pit road. Not sure if he's going to make it down pit road or not. Decides to turn down early in that 88 machine. What a ride for him. Guys, that was awesome. We're going to set up for the post-race interviews. We'll be right back.
got the race winner here, so I'll let you go, but I definitely would put him in for Alex Bowman in the 88. Okay, bye. Oh, Jason Jacoby, tonight's race winner for the Drive for Suicide Prevention. You got Rick and Chris up in the booth. How are you?
Hey guys, I'm doing great. How are y'all doing tonight?
After watching you save fuel, man, I'm not even sitting in my chair right now.
Thanks, Rick. Go ahead, buddy. I'm sorry.
That's okay. First of all, man, congratulations. What a heck of a strategy, brother. How much fuel did you really have towards the end there?
Man, at the end, Jeffrey had asked me on the in-car communications, like, how much fuel do you have? And I said 0.4 laps left. So I had no idea. I really want to thank Thomas Wagner for the league, man. This is a great cause to be a part of and a great fun league to race in. And Thomas was nice enough to tell me when I asked under an earlier yellow, how many laps can you go on fuel? And he had said 20 to 23. So I think we had a bit different driving styles because I was under 20 laps if I was going my normal pace, I guess you could say. So I really, once I pitted and tried to make a 20-lap interval and saw it wouldn't work, I'm like, I better try this Brad Keselowski type fuel saving thing I've seen on TV and give it a shot. I've never tried that before, and thankfully it worked out.
Work out it did, man. I know Chris got some stuff to ask too, but that was just outstanding. But you had a good season. This is win number 3 for you. It was fabulous watching and actually broadcasting you guys here this season. Congratulations, bro. I don't know how you did it, but you made it work. You may have a call from Hendrick Motorsports Monday, maybe. I'm doing my thing for you, but congratulations, man.
Thank you, Rick. And, that would be awesome. That's every sim racer's dream, but I very much appreciate it. It's been awesome to have you guys broadcast this, and it's a lot of fun to go back and watch the great job you guys do.
Well, speaking of great jobs, if you go back and watch this one, you're going to hear me absolutely beating the most doubting person, thinking, no way in heck can you save that much fuel. Oh my goodness, I didn't think it was possible. We were watching you clutch early. We were watching you get on the fuel and then clutch early again. Jason, did you think you were going to make it? I mean, was there any doubt there towards the end when you were looking at the black box? You're like, okay, I have this much fuel, but I've got this much time. You're seeing the gap from you to Fisher closing up. Was there at any point a time where you're like, boy, I may have messed up here?
There was definitely doubt, Chris, and I'm like, I did mess up because I knew that I could have an easier chance of winning had I actually stretched the fuel on that second to last pit stop like I could have, and then I wouldn't have had to save fuel. But there was a lot of doubt, but at the same time, I was like, it is what it is. I'm out here for fun, like we all are. Just, if it is what it is, if I run out of fuel, then, not much I can do about it. So I wasn't going to worry about it too much, but I was definitely doubtful. This is my first ever time. I'd never ever done the whole clutching and shutting off the engine to save fuel. I only done it a couple times before this race under caution. Never done it during green, so it's a new strategy I can employ sometime down the road, probably.
Well, again, congratulations, bud. Is there anybody out there you want to thank for tonight?
Chris, I'd like to thank everyone watching on both your channel and my channel. SimRacingJason.com is my website. You can see all my sponsors there, and my sponsors have the best value, in my opinion, of what I've found for each category that they are out there in business in. So SimRacingJason.com, no G in racing, and that's where you can find some great deals on stuff like iRacing computers, driving experiences, websites, everything like that.
Well, I'll tell you what, man, I only got one more thing to say to you, and it's written across the top of your windshield. Tonight's race for you was definitely kick-ass. Congratulations again, Mr. Jacoby. You took it away here at Indianapolis, and that is a great news for you. I'll let you down so you can start celebrating with everybody else.
Thanks, guys. Night all.
Take care, bud.
That was the 88, Jason Jacoby, bringing it home in first place tonight. We're going to bring up second place finisher Jeffrey Fisher here and get a word in with him, because Jeffrey Fisher, if you look at the front of the car, you would never believe it, but he did actually come in second place tonight, and he had a heck of a good run. He led 23 laps here tonight. Jeffrey, this is Chris and Rick up in the booth. Do you have a copy?
Yes, I do.
Well, bud, it was a second place finish that could have just as easily been a first place finish. You had to know that Jacoby was out there on old tires, very little fuel, and you were watching that gap close. At one point, we saw that you could see the back of that car very close, and just take me through the end of that race.
Well, how it started out was me and James. We started working together. We started mapping out the fuel and the time and the laps left and the gap. I don't know how he saved that much fuel. Like, I was pushing. My tires were gone. Like, as you saw, I hit the wall. I think it was coming to the white, coming on a 4. Yeah, I don't know how he saved that much fuel. It's insane. I was just trying to catch that gap, but, you know, fuel mileage races either go your way or they don't go your way. And when they don't go their way, kind of hurts, but congrats to him. It's a hell of a run.
Yeah, it really was, bud. And you know what? Second place is a hell of a good run, too. I mean, let's be honest. It's the last race of the season. You going to get set to come back again next season?
Oh, yeah. We're going to have a pretty big effort next season. We're going to have a 3-car team with AV Sim Sport. Maybe soon. Maybe some announcements on that from other people. Yeah, it's good to make second after I smacked the pit wall. Yeah. Yeah, I bet y'all saw that.
We did. It stopped very suddenly.
Yeah, I literally hit the wall. The car got loose. I saved it, and then it jerked towards the pit wall, and I'm like, oh no, this is gonna be on TV. Great.
Well, I'll tell you what, you're not the only one to have done it tonight, and I did catch a couple others, so don't feel too bad.
Oh no, momentum has been good the past 3 races, so it's gonna carry on in the next season. We're gonna see us a lot more up in the booth.
Great to
Well,
hear.
excellent, brother. Yeah, that is awesome to hear. I mean, you know, I was pulling for you tonight. I wanted to see you get your first win here tonight, especially, you know, since it's the last race of the season. I don't know what I'm going to be doing on Friday nights now. I'm going to miss you guys, man. But you had a really good season. I mean, honestly, looking at your stats, you know, you had, well, what will be now 6 top 5s, 12 top 10s, man. You know, you started 16 races. Be happy with that. And like you said, I'm really happy and proud to hear you say that you're going to carry that momentum through the off season into Daytona next season, and it's going to be awesome to see you do what you got to do.
Oh yeah, it's going to be beautiful at Daytona. You're going to see 3 cars looking exactly the same, so you're going to have to look at the numbers. The team's going to be big.
That's awesome. Listen, brother, hey, congratulations. Enjoy your off season. Is there anybody out there you'd like to thank?
I'd like to thank Grandstand Video, a company my dad owns. He works with Bob Dillner over at Speed 51 TV. I got some friends from work watching, which is cool. Some friends in the military, so they like to tune in and watch this for some fun, relaxation. And you guys for sticking with us in some of our crash fests and high nutrition races, where I guess it's kind of hard to find something about. And Thomas Wagner for sticking through all the nonsense that leagues have and staying strong and keep going forward and looking forward to season 2 and season 3 and 4 and 5.
That's excellent, brother. Congratulations. Great attitude. Make sure you keep that, because that's going to bring you a long ways, brother.
Oh, yeah, I'm trying to go places.
Well, you're well on your way, brother. Listen, thank you to all your friends out there in the military for what they do. We appreciate their service. Thank you for an awesome season, man. Like I said, I don't know what I'm going to be doing next Friday, but I'm looking forward. You know, Daytona will be fun. So congratulations, brother.
Appreciate it. See you next season.
All right. And that's the driver of the number 60 car, Jeffrey Fisher, having a heck of a run, finishing second tonight. And Rick, that means we only have one more to talk to.
Mr. Champion.
James Miller, driver of the number 25 car, came in tonight all but having the championship series wrapped up. Had some early issues, was able to come back, finish in third, and about 25 laps to go. It was announced.
Chris, hold on. Yeah, it was announced. But you can't just say the driver of the 25 car. I mean, this is 25 champion James D. Miller.
Very good.
There you go.
Man, that sounds good.
I bet it does, but hey, listen, first of all, let's get tonight out of the way. Congratulations. It was definitely kind of a back and forth race for you. But, you know, at the end of it all, it doesn't even matter, because Rick's right. At the end of your name stands another word, and that word is champion.
Yeah, it was an interesting race. Didn't really want to do that on the restart. I don't know many people who wanted to, but I was just trying to pinch Jason down to get that stage win, just to get myself some bonus points, and just gave him no room. Just all my fault in that one, and got it loose, and then overcorrected and came back at the wall, and then I think I got hit by someone, and kind of like the last few weeks have been going rough at the start, and just trying to maintain it through the race, and then using that nice quick repair to get through the rest of it, and yeah, trying to do a fuel strategy there with Jeffrey, trying to help him out, but definitely wasn't counting on Jason to save 20 laps of fuel. Props to him on doing that, because I had my doubts.
Oh man, you did a fabulous job. I mean, it was fun. I know this wasn't the night that you wanted, but let me tell you, dude, all season I watched you and Wagner both do the same thing. You guys like to start in the back. You guys are fabulous, and it's really fun watching you drive up to the field. Tonight, unfortunately, you're third, which is still something good to take, but you're also the champion, man. So congratulations. I'm sure that feels amazing. Look forward to next season. Continue on with all this momentum that you have, man. And thank you for a good season watching you guys race.
Oh, thank you for broadcasting. Yeah, it's I mean, I started out the season pretty strong. I know we had a different broadcaster, but I won the season opener at Daytona, which was nice. I wasn't expecting it, and then I think I only got 2 top 10s this whole season. I had to take 1 provisional, but top 5s all the rest, and definitely consistency through the whole season, which I'm proud of. Probably would have liked to have a bit more wins. I know Hunter has like 6 or 7 official wins or something like that, but yeah, pretty good all around season. Kind of faded off near the end here. Kind of wish I had a bit more momentum on my side and a bit more of a dominant car, not getting into so many accidents early on, but always pulled through to the end to finish strong, which that's where the points count. So did that right there, and yeah, fun season, that's for sure.
Well, that's awesome, brother. Now, before I ask you if there's anybody out there that you want to thank, I just got to say one thing. And as a fan, I'm allowed to say this. I'm going to catch some flack, I'm sure. But as of tonight, you have better stats than Dale Earnhardt Jr. You are a champion. Enjoy it. Enjoy the off season. Have a Merry Christmas, brother. And we look forward to next season with you.
Yeah, it's gonna be great. Yeah, speaking of that, we're gonna have a off season here, and next season starts the 11th of January. That should be fun. Hopefully find some more fast guys. I feel like we've got a great group of guys in this league. A lot of great battles going on, and we're also starting a truck series on Sundays, so that should be fun. Get some different ranks up. Yeah, hope to have some guys from the truck series move up to the Xfinity later on the season if they're fast, and should be a fun little bracket system there. Just gotta thank Thomas for the league. There's a lot of background things that went on with it, and just happy that he kept going through with it and finished the whole season. That's nice to have instead of cutting it halfway and in between. And thanks for you guys for broadcasting. It's always fun to go back and watch what you guys think of how we're racing and how things differ from broadcasting the car. But I'm gonna announce this officially. I know Jeffrey talked about it a little, but I will be leaving Wagner Racing, even though they've got me some great cars this season. I will be moving to AV SimSport, racing with Jeffrey and Eric Lida for next season, so that should be fun. Also moving to Toyota, so that'll be interesting. See how that is, see how it differs. Hopefully I can win in that one too, and prove that it's not manufacturer based.
Well, there you go, buddy. Well, congratulations, Chris. What do you got?
Well, it's pretty well covered. I just want to say again to you, James, congratulations, man. A third place finish tonight to really seal up your win. I'm kind of taking a peek in at the point standings. Want to give a shout out to Hunter Johnson, who came in second, Eric Lyda third, Jeffrey Fisher, who finished second tonight, ended up fourth in the points, and Thomas Wagner actually came in fifth, and that's the top 5 of the points. I'll tell you, it's been, from the time that we got in here and started broadcasting with you guys, it's been great fun racing, and we enjoy it as broadcasters. I hope you guys truly do enjoy watching them after, because that's how we know we've done our job. It's very different being in the broadcast booth, when most of the time I'd rather be grabbing onto my wheel and turning laps with you guys. But man, you guys have definitely turned on the entertainment, and we look forward, hopefully, to joining you next month when you kick off your Daytona race and for next season. But that's it for tonight. So again, congratulations to you, man. That was great season for you.
Thank you. Thank you to all the fans watching, and happy holidays, and everyone have a happy new year.
And that's going to do it here from tonight. That was the driver of the 25 car, your champion, James Miller. Rick, what else is there to say? You and I, we're done on Friday nights for a little while, bud.
We are, brother. You know, it's something that I'm going to miss. I love what these guys do here. And, you know, it was an honor to be here, broadcast these guys, and I hope they have continued success into their next season. And as always, brother, I mean, it's always fun hanging out with you. It's even more fun on a Friday night because we can stay up a little later and have some fun. So here's to this season and hopefully many more.
Absolutely. And we're going to take this opportunity to wish everybody out there a very happy holidays. I'll be politically correct there. And I hope you enjoy the time with your family and friends, as I know we will. So we'll call that a show, and good night, everybody.
Good night, all.
Not late at all. Thomas Wagner joining us real quick here. Sorry about that, Thomas. I know you have some stuff you were trying to finish up, and we didn't want to interrupt you at the end, but we brought it back just for you. Hey, listen, this is your first season, and congratulations. You guys never fail to entertain.
You know what? I gotta say thanks to you guys, because, you know, you guys took us on within just kind of, it was a Wednesday night. We kind of went through this. We went through all of our stuff, and you guys just picked it up like it was, like we had been racing from the first race with you guys. So, you know, I thank you guys. You guys have been a very good job and done a very good time broadcasting. And I'd like to announce that for our Season 2 of the Xfinity and our Truck Series, we will be switching names to Relentless Racing Series due to a problem with the old administrator of the driver suicide prevention name. I won't go into details of what happened there, but there used to be a truck series with that name. We branched off of it, and we've gone from there. But that's what's going on with us for next season. Recruitment races will be up pretty quickly. We're going to be starting some recruitment stuff. I gotta really thank these drivers for hogging it out with me and dealing with all the behind the scenes work, and, you know, doing a lot of the admin stuff for me. My admin team, Jeffrey Fisher, James Miller, Matt Grunberg, Marquis Smith, those guys are real MVPs that helped me through this and definitely helped me tonight. So it's definitely a great thing to see when I can take a back seat next season and just run these races and not have to worry about adminning, because I got firm guys behind me that can do it for me.
Well, that's always the goal with every league, bud. I mean, it was an honor for Chris and I to come in, and we really do appreciate you letting us come and work with you. And you know, here's the next season, man. I mean, you're doing the right thing. I mean, Chris and I, we've been league owners before. We know, you know, what you're talking about. It's a tough thing. Just keep true to yourself, keep true to your guys, your drivers, and everything's going to be great, man. And you know, we look forward to seeing where you guys go.
I'm excited for next season. I know some of these guys are very excited for next season. You know, I'm gonna do what I have to do to protect my members and protect their membership and see where we're going in that direction. Like this season, we had to remove a few drivers just for, you know, some of their decisions that they wanted to make. But overall, these guys are definitely the core guys that have really stepped up and, you know, made themselves known as elite.
And that's really what it's all about, buddy. So, you know, congratulations on your first season. It was, like I said, a heck of a time, man. I mean, Chris and I, we had a blast broadcasting you guys. We had a blast watching these races. I know some of them, you know, you might be thinking, well, some of them are rough. You know what? That's just racing. That's how it goes. So just keep that momentum going into the, you know, enjoy the off season. You know, get your plans all set up and ready to go. And, you know, we look forward to seeing where Relentless Racing goes. Again, congratulations. I mean, it was really an honor and a lot of fun.
Yeah, for sure. And I can't wait to see where you go. And you know what? If you're doing a recruitment race, well, that's not something that needs to be broadcasted. Drop me a line. I'll run one with you, just for funsies.
Oh, definitely.
I would love to have you guys run one. I think that would be awesome.
Yeah, I'm in. You just let me know when and where, brother.
Alrighty. I'll definitely let you know.
All right, perfect. And again, congratulations on the season, but it's very, very entertaining. I can't wait to see where you guys go in the future, and can't wait to see what kind of drivers you bring on board to join that core group that you've got going right now. It's going to be a lot of fun going into the future. And remember, never apologize for having to make a tough decision, because they are tough. We've done this with you before, not with you, but with our own, and we've had to make those tough decisions, and they never get easier, but somehow the racing always gets better. And that will be that. Guys, thank you very much for coming out. And Thomas, thanks for coming up and joining us in the booth. Sometime I'm going to catch you before a race. It's only going to be a matter of time. Again, thank you all for coming out. Enjoy the rest of the night.